right, boys. Sound right, boys. It sound right, boy. Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. It sound right, boy. Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into debate night yet again. We're back almost at episode 20. If Brodie hadn't taken that trip to Hawaii, we would be at episode 20. But Hawaii calls when it calls.
We gotta do something. We gotta do something epic for episode 20. We need to do a giveaway.
Okay.
We haven't done a giveaway in a hot minute.
No, it's been a while.
And we're closing in on 15,000 subs. So I think on the YouTubes, over if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, we also appreciate you. I feel like sometimes we give too much love to YouTube and not enough to the listener podcast people. So we love all the people that listen to the podcast.
Absolutely.
But we're getting close to 15K on YouTube, which is a big milestone for the Foundation Podcast channel. So yeah, we'll do a giveaway once we hit 15K, maybe for the.
Well, we'll do a giveaway at 20 episodes,
and maybe we'll hit 50K
maybe a
at the same time.
bigger giveaway.
Oh, double giveaway.
Well, I mean, 20 episodes is next week.
I've seen people do crazier things.
That is true.
You never know.
That is true.
Today's podcast is sponsored by FoundationDisc.com. So big shout out to them for sponsoring the podcast. If you haven't gone over to FoundationDisc.com, check it out. Obviously, if you need anything for disc golf, they've got all your needs over there. And also some pretty dope merchandise that just got apparel and stuff like that just got put up as well today. Some new hats, some new shirts, some new hoodies. Silas, are you going to be rocking any of the new merch on the store?
Yeah, dude. It's pretty good stuff. I like the new, Naked Foundation logo.
Naked Foundation.
Whoa,
logo.
whoa.
That's what I'm gonna call it.
That's what Silas is dubbing it.
That's
Okay.
what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, those guys over at Foundation, they've been killing it recently. Props to them.
If you guys don't know what the Naked Foundation logo is,
it's just our main logo without the circle.
It's just the triangle.
It's just the mountains. I called it the mountain logo. Silas goes Naked logo.
I had an epiphany last night, Silas. This is exactly what happened. I think it was 10:30 that I texted you. I had a sweet tooth, right? I obviously have a sweet tooth. And I was like, I need something sweet. So I went in, and I've got all these fresh mints. I still don't know why I have all of them.
You asked for them for Halloween.
I know, but someone needs to take them because there's so many of them. So I have these fresh mints, and on these fresh mints, we had that logo. Just the triangle.
Just the mountain.
Yeah, you took those.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, dude, this would look sick on a hat. And so I texted Hunter. I took a picture. I texted him. I love how you thought I wanted the words on there, too.
Well, I didn't understand. It was 10:30. I go to bed early.
He thought I wanted a hat that had the logo.
He's like, we got to put this on a hat.
Underneath.
And I was like, well, that might be like a cool
hat.
vintage hoodie. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll have a hoodie that's like a Fanta hoodie or something.
Yeah. No, that's to be cool.
Foundation Freshman hoodie.
But yeah, go check out the new stuff over there. And we're going to keep it rolling. First thing I want to talk about, if you haven't watched, if you're listening to this right now, obviously if you're live, stay here. But if you're listening to us tomorrow or, what is it, Wednesday tomorrow, Thursday, whatever day of the week, if you're listening to this and you have not watched the Conor Break 86 video, do yourself a favor, give yourself a nice 45-minute break from whatever you're doing, head on over and watch it. It is one of the best videos we probably have posted on the channel. It is an absolute roller coaster of emotions, and I feel like, especially if you don't know Conor that well, it will give you a good idea of who Conor is as a person. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. You'll leave that video no matter what as a fan of Conor. I don't think there's a way.
Yeah. And it'll make you feel something.
Yeah. We've had people comment that they've been crying watching this video. They said that it's better than a Netflix documentary. I mean, there's been a lot of comments. A lot of bold statements have been made. My favorite was actually over on TikTok. I'll read this comment. If you're not following us on TikTok,
Dark Horse TikTok,
what are you doing? I posted a video of Conor hitting a putt, and Andrew Robinson commented and said, "How do I explain to people that a man throwing plastic for an electric unicycle affects me emotionally?" And I responded, and I just said, "Just own it." But I thought that was a funny comment.
Mustard. Do you know about mustard yellow yet, Silas?
Oh, no, I did.
No. You watched it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh,
I was
okay.
Coming back from Raleigh.
Oh, so you know mustard
I
yellow.
was driving back from Raleigh, watching it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was a great video.
Dude, it was
a
well
great
done.
one.
Well done.
You gotta stick around for the back nine, though.
Yes.
You have to watch the whole video.
You gotta sit down with a bucket of popcorn.
It's
and
like
just be
The
ready to go.
Office.
Yeah.
It's like The Office. The first season sucks, and then it just gets incredible, and you cry at the end.
Yes.
It's basically what
There
it
you
is.
Yeah.
Same thing. Who do you guys have this week? Jake Paul or Woodley in the rematch?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Same pick. I had last
Really?
time.
Yeah.
Do you think the tables have turned a little bit in the situation where everyone was like thinking like, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that everyone was thinking Nate Robinson, a former basketball player that had no business being in the ring, was going to knock Jake Paul out. Do you think everyone has seen him enough times now to be like, if a real boxer doesn't step in the ring, they are going to lose?
Jake Paul was going to murder Tommy Fury.
I think so too.
Tommy Fury is not a boxer. I know he is a boxer, but like I watched his fight when Jake Paul fought Woodley the first time.
It was not good.
No.
He claimed
what was hilarious was the Barstool commentary on it where they were like, Tommy, just trust me, you're a model. You're not a boxer. Just like, you look amazing, guy, dude. Just stick with modeling. Stay out of the ring. But they're right.
He claimed that that he did that on purpose.
Yeah, anyone would say. I would say that.
Which I thought was I've never heard that before in the boxing or MMA thing, where they claim that they looked like crap in order to get a fight.
Yeah, it's not true.
I've never heard anyone
just
use
not
that
true.
as an argument.
That's exactly what I would say if I was Tommy Fury and everyone's like, you looked like crap, you looked like crap. And for example, great example of this, just watch the golf video tomorrow. And you'll see exactly what Tommy Fury was doing.
I will say though, in boxing, like there is a lot more questions. Like I have a lot more questions in boxing matches of like fixed matches. What does it say in the contract? All these kind of exhibition things. Where if I'm watching like a UFC or a Bellator or one championship, if I'm watching something like that, I know that both people going in are trying to win, and there's not any funny business going on. Where boxing, like, I just don't know, especially when you're not like trying to win a belt, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, like, are you just there to get a paycheck and then that's it? You know, like
some fighters might.
There's definitely
are.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's definitely a little bit more of a like, it wouldn't surprise me if like Woodley, if there was something in there, not this fight, but like in the last fight, people were talking about like there was a no knockout clause. It wouldn't surprise me if there was in there of where it's like, Woodley, you're not allowed to knock me out.
That would have surprised me.
But it wouldn't have if Woodley was getting paid like $750,000 or $500,000.
It only would have surprised me just because Jake Paul would be worried of that getting out.
I mean, it did get out,
but it's not real.
How do you know that?
I don't think it is. I just would be
speculation.
Yeah, it is speculation. But I would be shocked if it were real.
But it's gonna be interesting. You also have the other fight that is gonna be interesting as well, as far like casual fans, is gonna be the Frank Gore, who's like one of the all-time best running backs of the NFL. I think he's third all-time rushing running back. He's taking on Darren Williams, who Frank Gore, I believe, retired last year or 2 years ago. Darren Williams was a point guard in the league for many, many years, but I think he's been retired for a bit. But Darren Williams is an owner of an MMA gym, and I believe he's in there a lot. So I think that's the third to last fight. And then the co-main, I believe, is the I don't know her name, but she was the co-main in his last fight, Jake Paul's last fight. They're like buddies. So it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be tuning in, and we'll see. My hat is, for those watching right now, this is an Ohio State hat, and I'm just trying to, I'm still just trying to.
You must feel bad.
I do feel bad. But hey, Dark Horse were actually decent at basketball this year, so that's always nice. It's always like a good. Could you imagine if Ohio State's better than Duke again this year?
It's not going to happen.
What if Ohio State knocks Duke out?
That could happen
in the tournament.
Duke in the tournament. Duke either wins or we lose to a very stupid team, and there's no in between.
The Buckeyes aren't a very stupid team.
We already lost y'all once.
Buckeyes are very good.
And when we lost, I was like, hey, we just lost to a very stupid team.
No. They're not stupid. All right, let's jump into it. The first thing I want to talk about is, what is everyone's opinion on the schedule of these announcements? So the Disc Golf Pro Tour, they posted previously what the schedule was going to be. And it was like, there's 4 awards, right? There's Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, Player of the Year, and is that it?
That's it. There's 4 announcements because they announced the Player of the Year on 2 different days.
That's what they're doing. Okay. So there's three awards across 2 different divisions, and they're doing it across 4 days. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean,
do you even have thoughts? Do you even care?
Yeah. I don't. I think the reason they're doing it is just so that they like each get the attention that they deserve. in a certain way. So like they can just like post them and not have it like just one big post and then you just like swipe through and you don't give the attention it deserves. I think it would have been cooler to like have like a Disc Golf Network exclusive like award
a
show
show?
of like these are the
Yeah.
nominees or like these were the top 4 fan votes.
Would you get like all 4 people like on Zoom that are like in the running
just
and they're all
start
like
it-
sitting there like
to start it, get just the winner
waiting-
queued up
just
on
get
Zoom.
the winner?
But
Okay.
eventually, you know,
Yeah.
it could turn into like the Disc Golf Award show where like people come out and are dressed
You
up.
gotta
And,
like
Yeah.
dress up.
yeah, like
Okay.
you know, in Charlotte, you know, you're going to Charlotte for the award show in December or something.
could be nasty.
Like,
I mean,
that'd be
they
cool.
could do
But
it.
regardless,
They could do it like the day after the tour championship.
They also could do that,
or the day before.
or the day before. They also
Like
could do
before the
that.
tournament starts.
the season's over when they get to the tour.
Yeah, like
championship.
I don't think I personally don't think the tour championship should really hold that much weight.
Well, it doesn't. It's tough. I don't
in
think it should
awards,
make sense
in
in awards
awards.
because it's a postseason thing.
Correct.
So like the NBA MVP is announced before the playoffs happen
Playoffs.
because then there's a playoff MVP,
hmm
and I think it's pretty much the same in every other sport.
Like I believe winning the tour championship and the money alone is like the prestigious stuff around it.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
I don't
factor in.
think I don't think they should factor that in because again, at the end of the day, it's a different format than any other format. And also
Well, they're literally calling this upcoming season, which I know that this wasn't this past season, but this upcoming season they're literally calling
regular season playoffs.
regular season playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. And so it'll be interesting to see if they,
they
end up-
keep it,
if
yeah.
they keep it that way or not. Yeah, my short answer to that is I think you probably just try to make one big post about it. And it does
Yeah.
feel a little bit drawn out. Also, as we go into it, I think it would have made the rookie of the year situation not as big of a deal if it had everything come out at once versus making a single post about it. And then everyone's going to be talking about it. So going into it, rookie of the year, I believe they nailed it on the head. I don't really see really anyone else vying for that spot on the MPO side. I feel like Gannon Burr was an obvious choice there. And looking at his kind of schedule from the previous year, he only played, I believe, one Disc Golf Pro Tour event last year. I think it was Jonesboro, if I'm correct. Ended up not finishing terrible. I think he ended up cashing potentially, but he played one Pro Tour last year, and then the previous year he ended up. That was the year that he ended up playing Open. So that to me makes a whole lot of sense.
But he didn't cash any of those because he's a PDGA rookie this year. He's the PDGA rookie of the year as well.
He didn't cash at any.
Like he might have cashed, but he didn't accept cash.
Would it say 0 on his PDGA thing then, or would it still say?
If
would
he
it still
accepted
have it-
cash last year, it was after Am Worlds because that's when your rookie season for the following
Okay,
year starts.
okay.
But the year before that,
But would
he-
it say 0 next to it, or would it say
Yeah.
the money that you refused?
No,
to
it says
cash?
0.
It would
There
say
wouldn't
0?
be any
Okay.
money.
But yeah, let's go into it. I mean, let's first talk about the whole Juliana Korver thing. I'll start with this. I think obviously if you were paying attention to our tweets and Instagram and stuff like that, like the first thing is like it's not about Juliana at all.
Mm-mm.
And it's more about just the actual award. And I feel like in every other sport, like so many awards are so silly, and like because a lot of them aren't very based off of like statistics, right? It's a lot of it is this idea of like fan voting, or you have a committee, and a lot of recency bias where they kind of forget what happened early in the season, all that stuff. And so there's a lot of, I mean, this happens in every sport of where people are just being like, no way that person should have won, yada, yada, yada. So it would have been, I feel like it would have been nice to kind of start off, because this is the first year I believe they did it, right? The awards. Did they do it last year?
They might have done it, but they redid their. This is definitely
Criteria?
the first year under this criteria.
Oh, there's criteria. And I think that is the issue that a lot of people are having is, and I hope people call in to kind of give some of their thoughts on this, because I know a lot of people were like, no, she should have won, yada, yada, yada. And they gave examples. And I feel like the examples just don't really
None of them
add
make
up.
sense.
They don't make sense.
I already saw someone bring up the MLB example. Makes no sense, but I'll explain
Talking
that.
about
with
like
me.
Ichiro and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I think the obviously you can dig into it a little bit more, but I think the real issue is disc golf is such a small sport in the sense that like everyone kind of knows everyone, right? You can't really be very good at disc golf and people don't know who you are. And so even though this was her rookie year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, because she didn't play in it last year, and obviously the Disc Golf Pro Tour didn't exist years ago, this is considered her, I would say, first year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. In the sense of like rookie, I'll just say this. When someone tells you this, does this sound like a rookie to you? 230 career wins, 8-time major champion, 5-time world champion, women's 45-plus distance world record holder. Like, that resume to me doesn't sound like someone that's about to win a Rookie of the Year. And
Well,
so
that would be impossible.
And so I think that's where like the biggest disconnect is like under the criteria, she 100% was the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that was never the argument.
The argument is like, should the criteria be written in a certain way or changed in a certain way to where something like this doesn't happen again? Because you also
the Pro Tour 100% will change it before next year.
Oh, okay, you think
no doubt in
there's
my mind.
there's enough feedback that there's no way.
Well, I just imagine a group of like however many people were in there, and they like had their criteria that they had put out, and they put it into the system, and it spits back Juliana Korver, and they all look at each other like, we can't actually do that, right? And then one of them's like, well, I mean, it's her rookie season on the Pro Tour. We have to. What are we supposed to do? Not give it to a 5-time world champion who might be the greatest player of all time? Give it to Stacey Ronsley, who's what, a true rookie? Why would we do that? Doesn't make sense. Like, surely they were sitting there going, this doesn't make sense. But like, they went ahead and posted it.
I mean,
my thing is, the argument from every other sport doesn't make sense for one main reason. You're looking at the MLB, where they have players coming from Japan. You look at the NBA, where you have players playing in China, all these other places. Here's the biggest difference. When you're playing in Japan, you're not playing at the highest level of the sport because you're not playing the MLB. When you're playing in China and in Australia and wherever the players come from, you're not playing on the highest level of the sport because you're not playing in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
When Juliana Korver was playing back in her day, she was playing at the highest level of the sport. She won 5 of the most prestigious titles that you possibly can win, world championships, as well as 8 total majors, so 3 more of the other most prestigious, and then 230 wins, many of them being national tours, X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
She played at the top level of the sport.
She's also been considered in the conversation of
The greatest player of all time.
greatest female player of all time.
So when you're looking at that, she's not a rookie. I understand the technicality that this was her first full season on the Pro Tour, blah, blah, blah. My biggest issue is Juliana Korver, even when she accepted the award, was like, this seems a little bit unfair. I mean, I have 230 wins. You know, I have all this, like this. It doesn't really seem right,
funny
but
too, because she brought up that she had lost. She didn't win Rookie of the Year in 1996.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was funny, because she basically said like 1996 was her rookie year.
Yeah. So to me,
I mean,
then
that's
my biggest
24
thing
years ago.
And I'm surprised that people aren't. Sometimes disc golf confuses me, the things people get upset about and don't get upset about. Maybe it's partially just because some people, when I tweet, are just everything I say, they're like, I have to be against this guy, so I'm going to contradict what I've said previously.
I think people do like going up against you.
But regardless, it just surprised me that no one was just like, hey, you know, I can see where this is kind of messed up for Stacey Ronsley or Macy Veladiaz or whoever is like, this is their only chance at Rookie of the Year ever. PDGA, blah, blah, blah. What Ella Hansen is going to be the PDGA Rookie of the Year, but again, on the Pro Tour, I believe Stacey Ronsley was the name I heard is like second place for this award. But regardless, there's a list of players who this was their rookie season. This is the only chance at an award. And imagine being like, I did everything. And then like the player I looked up to for years and years because she was the greatest player, you know, of her generation, possibly one of the best of all time, definitely one of the best of all time, possibly the best of all time, just took Rookie of the Year from me.
Yeah, I'll add on.
How do you argue that? Like, it makes no sense.
You're talking about where people are talking about the MLB or NBA, right? Where you have guys playing in Europe and then come over and for the rookie year in the NBA, or guys over in Asia and come over. I think the other thing there too is like the casual fan has no idea who these people are.
Yeah.
Until there's talks about them coming over, and then maybe hype starts getting built up and whatnot. But everyone in disc golf knows who Juliana is. So that's where it's when you hear her name in rookie, everyone's like, what? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. So I think that's one of the big problems.
And the secondary question I have too is like the way they wrote the rules. It just says it hasn't started in 3 Pro Tours
where you take
in a recent number of years.
Take like a hiatus.
So could Paul McBeth take a 15-year hiatus from the Pro Tour, come back and win Rookie of the Year? Or like what if Nate Doss stepped back in right now? Like, no doubt, Ken Climo could come in next year. Scott Stokely's actually the better example because he's training to go on tour.
Yeah, he's actually touring. Yeah.
Like, if Scott Stokely won next year, I again would be like, this guy's not a rookie. Like, that doesn't make sense. It's not about the age thing, because if this was Juliana Korver's true rookie year, she didn't have any accolades.
No, age,
and she was still in her mid 40s or however old she is.
Age doesn't matter.
You're a rookie. That's great. The performance as a rookie is what matters. But to me, I'm just like, she's not a rookie. Even she was like, this is kind of unfair. I'm not a rookie. Like, everyone sees it. She's not a rookie.
Like 1 year, or
your first year as a pro.
that?
Your first year as a pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what the rule should be then.
Yeah,
right?
especially
Your
now
first
that,
year
and
as
this
a
is
pro.
why I know they'll
Well,
change it.
It's
Pick from
tricky.
people that their first year of pro tour.
Yeah, well, this is
Yeah,
also
it's
the
tricky
way that I
because-
know they'll change it is because the Pro Tour is now the official
Yeah.
tour of the PDGA.
Yeah.
So you can't
And this-
have a non-PDGA rookie win Pro Tour Rookie of the Year. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen.
Right.
And going on to your other topic that I thought, where you're saying like you find it odd that no one's really fighting for these other rookies that might have this might have really helped them get publicity to maybe get a bigger contract next year, or even get a contract
Yeah.
if they didn't have it. That's where I find it very odd, because I do think people pick and choose who they like and who they want to support, and basically turn a blind eye and be like, I can't say anything negative about that person.
No.
Because I saw when I signed my contract with Discraft, so many disc golfers came out either as themselves saying like, I should be sponsored, not you, I've been grinding, or other people are like, hey, my local pro that I know doesn't have a contract with any manufacturer. He should get it over Brodie. What the heck? This is bull crap. And in the contract world, like, it's very hard to argue that, because at the end of the day, it's like, if you bring money into a manufacturer, they're going to be happy with this. Where like, this is an award that they can literally decide like who should get the award. And that's where it's wild to me that I did not see the same energy on that post of where people are saying like, hey, these people had a really good rookie season. They worked their butt off, and it sucks that unfortunately by the way that the criteria is written, that they are going to miss out, because next year, guess what? They're not a rookie anymore.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing,
They don't have a chance.
Juliana Korver's been in the Disc Golf Hall of Fame for 13 years, longer than the Pro Tours existed. Because that's why
The Hall of Fame.
the thing that I think is funny is Trevor's like, imagine like you walk into the disc golf museum thing they have down in the IDGC. You're like, oh, Juliana Korver, and it's like all these accolades, world champion, blah blah blah, and you're like, this has to be a typo. It says 2021 Rookie of the Year. Like, there's a 15-year gap between your last world championship and this. Like,
Can you win? Here's a wild question, right? I don't even know if you guys want to hear this. Can you win Rookie of the Year if you switch divisions?
no. No.
Oh.
That's a tricky one there.
What do you think about that?
Well, according to the current
Like,
current,
what if
the current
Paige
Pro Tour,
decided to
what
play
are the
an
rules?
What if Paige decided to play an MPO
well, I'm just
next
saying
year?
the current Pro Tour stipulations just say you didn't play X amount of Pro Tour events than previous years.
So it
It
doesn't,
doesn't
care
say
about
anything about divisions.
So it's just events.
Okay, that would be wild.
There's a lot of people disagreeing in chat with you.
I know there's a lot of
I-
people that disagree.
Well, I hope
You
they
gotta
call.
call in.
I hope they call in.
I know there's a lot of people that disagree.
I think, the other awards. Let's go into most improved. I think that one is an interesting one for me as well. I think a lot of these awards, it's obviously everyone has a different opinion on what does most improved mean. My opinion, most improved is not someone that was a top 20 player and is now a top 10 player. My most improved is someone that was like a top 50 player and is like now a top 15 or 20 player. Like, they jumped from barely cashing to now they're like in the mix at some tournaments. To me, that's most improved. You look at that, like if you're thinking about like the NBA, that's like the one that pops out the most is like most improved. I think they might do it in the NFL too, but the NBA is the one that I know the most. It's normally not going to like a superstar, like one of the better players on the team. It's normally going to a guy that was on the bench and is now a starter, and not someone that was a starter and now is a star. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, the most improved, I think it's going to be hard to ever have a lot of pushback, because most improved is a very just subjective award.
Everyone
And that's one thing
That's
too,
what I'm saying. I'm not
is-
saying you're wrong. I'm
No,
not saying
yeah.
I'm not saying if you think it should be from 20, the guy that goes 20 to 5, that you're wrong for picking him most improved. I'm just saying
You feel like it's different.
I feel like it's 50 to 20.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think is I love awards in sports is like
Because
very few people ever agree that like who it wins. There's sometimes where it's obvious like this person should be MVP or player of the year, but a lot of times it's like
when was the last time that when was the last time too that we really had something to talk about too? Like I think this is awesome that we have this topic to talk about because like we were.
What I'll say about the most improved just position wise is I think the jump, at least in disc golf, in other sports this might not be true. In disc golf, I think the jump from 50th to 20th is a lot easier jump to make than from 20th to 3rd or 20th to 5th. So to me, even though the most improved, like numbers-wise, would be the person who went from 50th to 20th, the person that went from 20th to 5th, I think improved more. Now, one thing you have to like look at, I guess, is just like, is that person also going to end up being player of the year? I don't really think that matters. Is that person end up going to be what like rookie of the year and most improved? I think that's impossible. Yeah, that has to be impossible. Yes. So never mind. Throw what I was about to say out the window because you can't be most improved as your rookie season. But the most improved, obviously 50th to 20th, it's a bigger jump, but I think 20th to like where you're already a quote unquote star, as you were saying, to 5th where you're more of a star. Like I think both people are just as eligible for the award.
Yeah, no, again, it's like there's no wrong in the sense. It's just like we talked about. There's different people have different opinions. Like I think Matty O could be thrown in that most improved potentially. But it's also kind of wild too because like it also can highly dictate on like how much someone plays. You know, they might have only played a couple tournaments the previous year and then they played a lot more. But yeah, I think Kyle Klein, obviously the dude dominated this year multiple times. Picking up a Disc Golf Pro Tour win at Idlewild, and then having some really close finishes there as well. And obviously that guy's on the up and up and is going to be in contention at a lot of tournaments next year. Just the way that his game is, there's not many tournaments that he's going to go into thinking that he can't win. So that was a great award for him. And then obviously Missy Gannon too, not a hard one there either on the FPO side. Someone that has been in, you know, that would be more of like someone that's kind of been in the mix. And obviously on the FPO side too, with a lot of these, with just a smaller field, I think you're going to see a lot more of someone that was like 15th and now is like 5th or 4th or 3rd or whatever. Like you're going to see that a lot more on the FPO side just because the field size is smaller. There's a better chance of that happening versus MPO. You've got, 5, 6, 7, 10 guys that are all in that mix trying to get to that spot. So that's fine. They did just announce that Missy Gannon did win Player of the Year this year, which I think that's a miss. Again, not a slight at Missy at all. I think she had an incredible season. But I think if you look, well, first off, do we know if the criteria for Player of the Year there is
25%
outside of Disc Golf Pro Tour events? Like does Worlds or Majors or any of that stuff factor in at all?
It's so points wise, no. It's 25% tour finish, 25% tour points, 25% fan vote, 25% media vote.
Okay. So I think for me, again, like the tour finish, like the tour championship finish, I don't think that should be in any sort of it's just such a wild thing. And like, it's reset. Like any given day, someone can win. So I think that is as we saw, like Nathan Queen, he just hit the hot streak, right? And you get hot, you can win that tournament. I don't know. I just don't think that should be in the awards category. And then when you add in to where now it's like 25% fan, 25% media, whoever that is, do we have any idea how many media people there are? Like what if there's like 4 media people?
Yeah. No, there's got to be more than that.
I mean, who's
the
on?
Question we don't know is
like
on
media?
Is media?
Who the heck is on media?
It's got to be at least the Disc Golf Network media, which would be like the Disc Golf Network podcast hosts, all of them. The question is, does it expand beyond to the coverage teams such as Jomez, all of that, Old T World, Johnny Disc Golf, or is it just the Pro Tour media?
This is where I think though. This is where I think also that it is very. It's so hard to tell because the coverage is so limited that you're literally only seeing the people that are playing like on camera, like the 4 people that are playing on camera. you're not like, you see them, like, it's hard to get a gauge. You're going to think more.
Well, for player of the year, the player would have to be on camera.
No, you're right. But I'm saying, like, you're going to think more about the stuff you saw, like visually watching, than on paper. Like, do you think they're going back and they're actually looking at finishes and seeing?
Clearly not.
Or are they just remembering that Missy Gannon won the tour championship?
I think this is a key example of recency bias a little bit. Not because Missy Gannon didn't have an incredible season, because she did.
She had the third best season of the FPO. That's a great
total season. Yes.
Yeah, she was the third. She had the third best season out of all FPO players.
But the thing is, when you bring voting in, it's like
incredible.
You were saying,
it was an incredible season.
Yeah, when you say vote, when you bring voting in, you're ending out. The voting goes out a few weeks after she wins the Throw Pink Women's, which I know that's not factored in points wise, but which I do think this is a side note funny. Juliana Korver, everyone's saying like only factor in the Pro Tour, blah blah blah, but then in the Pro Tour's post of like trying to explain Missy Gannon, first thing they say is Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship and Tour back to back. And I'm like,
that's wild.
Well, if you're gonna look outside, then why are we giving it to Juliana Korver? Regardless. But in media and fan votes, heads, obviously that's a big factor in the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship, followed by the Tour Championship win. She also picked up a lot of steam towards the end of the year. So when you get to the end of the year, it felt like Missy Gannon was like the only player you're thinking about in FPO, and that's, I think, what we're seeing here. But overall, if you look at the whole season, just strictly finishes, and I would imagine if you went head-to-head, it probably should have went to Paige Pierce. I think she had 6 Pro Tour wins.
Something like that,
Missy Gannon's.
Missy Gannon won 1 and then had
a Silver Series and the Tour Championship. So, and Paige's 6 didn't include a Silver Series, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
So, I mean, it's a hard one. Paige is Missy Gannon's, I think, one of her best friends. So Paige probably is like in a weird state of like, I
Good
wish
job,
I won it, but also like my best
yeah.
friend won it. So we're not going to hear from Paige on this. I would guarantee that.
No.
I think because like last year when it went to Katrina Allen over Paige, the PDGA one did, and that was messed up. And then the PDGA like backpedaled and gave it to Co Awards. We did hear from like several different players of like, this is messed up. I don't think we're going to hear from in this situation just because, again, Missy Gannon had the best end of the season to where if you don't look at the stats, if you don't go onto the PDGA, this makes complete sense. Like if you just feel it, like when you told me,
yeah, it's the recency bias.
When you told me, I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, but should it go to Paige?
Yeah,
and I looked.
And I pulled up all the
and then you look and you're like,
finishes,
it probably should have went
like,
to Paige.
Ah, that's tough.
But this one is just something where once you bring voting in, which they did, fan vote and media vote, that makes up 50% of it. Obviously, the Tour Championship was a big thing that went into her favor because they didn't say she won the media vote. They said she won the fan vote and then she won the Tour Championship, so that she has 2 things going for her there.
That's 50%.
That's 50% of the thing already. So once you factor that in, like,
and her tour points were probably at 3 or 2.
Yeah, and then she probably got several media
and then
votes in
that's
general,
enough.
and that was enough.
I think
it's definitely an interesting situation.
I think too, like obviously, like who cares, right? That could be like who cares, right? That could be an argument why you guys care so much. I think to me,
that's why we have a podcast.
Well, yeah.
If we didn't care,
well, yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here.
But I think as a player myself too, and also someone that obviously advocates for, always trying to figure out how players on tour can make a living and more players on tour can come and make a living. The way the tour is going to eventually go is you could potentially see someone like Missy Gannon have a breakout season, play really, really well, and then go into a slump, right? If the competition was good enough. Right now, that's not the case. Like Missy Gannon is probably going to be a top 5 player, top 10 player next year. But what if there were 120 killers on the FPO? Can she guarantee herself being in the top 10 year after year after year? Probably not. So my thought is, like, if you have someone, let's say they're 50th in the world and they have a breakout season, they pull together a couple wins and they just play out of their minds for a couple tournaments and they become player of the year. They should have stuff in their contracts with their manufacturers, their sponsors and stuff that should give them a nice bonus for that. And again, like the money right now in disc golf isn't quite there to where that bonus money could be huge and beneficial for them. So that's where I think it does kind of matter of like, hey, let's try to iron these out. So that way in the future, this doesn't like, obviously Paige and Kat, if they did have a player of the year thing, they're not hurting for cash. So it's like, who cares? Right. But like, what if someone that doesn't have that massive contract, but had something in there where it's like, hey, if you get player of the year, we'll give you 10K bonus at the end. Like that could be really, really helpful to them. So that's something to think about.
It would probably make the trophy more like meaningful too. You know?
Yeah, if there was something attached to it, because I don't think the Disc Golf Pro Tour is giving away any money for the awards.
No, not that I'm aware of.
I think they would have said that.
Yeah, they would have, I think.
But I do know that it is probably something, or it will probably be put into players' contracts in the future with sponsors of like, hey, whatever. So
yeah, but that's I was surprised. It's definitely tough because, like I said, when you're looking at it just fully gut feeling wise, and I think when people voted, that's what we saw is like before, like I cast a ballot in it, right? I picked Paige, but before I picked Paige, I didn't go look at the PDGA stats to see. I just went and tried to think through, like, in my head, I was thinking between Paige and Kat. So I guess that's why my head was a little bit different. But I could see where, like, if you were just watching the sport and you watch the season and it gets to the voting time and you go on and you're scrolling through and you see Missy Gann, you'd be like, oh, wow, she just won these last two events. And especially the Throw Pink Women's was an A tier, but felt like a major. So it felt like she just won a major and then might as well have been another major with the amount of money and pressure on that line. And so it felt like she just went back-to-back majors to end the season. So, like,
what are your guys' thoughts on this? What if the players voted? Top 50 players in the world voted. So now you know you're getting it from your peers.
How many?
They have that in
at
some.
what point up? I guess you can't vote for yourself should be the rule.
Well, yeah, you're not voting for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like
But
I was
like,
gonna say because at what point up the ratings does everyone just vote for themselves?
No, but they
Especially
have
if it's
they
in
have
your contract a bonus.
They have
Yeah.
some awards. They have some awards like this
that's
in
like,
other sports, and people talk a lot about how these awards mean so much because it's coming from their competitors.
I was
It's
talking
coming
to
from-
someone. I was talking to someone at one of the manufacturers about this similar thing because they said they were like I forget if the Pro Tour brought it up. Who brought it up? Someone brought it up that like the manufacturers and stuff could vote, like should possibly have a say.
I hate that.
And well, yeah,
That's terrible
but one
idea.
of this person from one of the manufacturers was like, well, the tough part is like I'm casting the vote for the person on my team every time. Like
Well,
how am I supposed to? It's like in
Of course you are.
Yeah,
it's
of
like
course.
in high school. My my high school for like all the all state teams and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The coaches voted, and so year after year, it was like a weird thing because the coaches would vote. You'd have like a 5-player roster, and the coaches you could vote for 2 or 3 people from your own team, and so every coach would vote for like 2 or 3 people from their own team first. So like everyone had votes. And so it really just like it was just a weird thing. But that's kind of what would similarly happen if you had players or because like you also would get into situations where players where like feelings might get involved of like
No, it's an anonymous vote.
no, but if I sat down and me and you just had beef all year, I don't care about your season. I'm not voting for you.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, I'm just saying.
Makes sense.
I think there should
Some
be
people
a
are-
committee.
I see
I think
it.
there
All
should be a committee.
Whatever. Terrible idea.
I like a committee just because
I had a terrible idea.
I like
don't
a committee just because then you have someone to get mad at. Like everyone just be like, dude, the committee just sucked this year. But now it's like, do you get mad at us, the fans? You get mad at the media,
The
or you
committee's
get like,
trash.
yeah, like at least like I'd feel better if I like could shake my fist at the man and be like, screw you, committee, you messed up. But like here, this is way less criminal than the year Katrina Allen won. Was it literally last
It
year?
was last year.
Yeah,
PDGA.
Katrina Allen over Paige Pierce last year felt way more criminal than this because Paige had a very dominant season. This year, Paige went through spurts where like she just didn't
So
really.
they
she
messed
wasn't
up
there.
2 years in a row.
Well, no, this is the
That was the
PDGA.
PDGA.
Oh, okay.
This is the Pro Tour.
Gotcha.
And this one, like, did they technically mess up? Sure, but because of recency bias, it just doesn't feel it. Like it does. I didn't even tweet about it. I didn't do anything because like I'm not that mad.
Well, you didn't want to get canceled.
How
All
did I
right.
get canceled? I thought Missy Gannon had an incredible season. I
So-
have nothing bad to say about Missy Gannon.
So, well, yeah. I don't have anything bad to say about this again either.
I feel like then how did I get canceled?
Don't worry about it. So
Don't worry about it.
I don't know why I thought this. Maybe it's because Disc Golf Pro Tour keeps posting Ultimate Frisbee stuff, and so it's like bringing me back to Ultimate Frisbee. But I thought I mean, this would never happen. First off, I just want to say that this will never happen, and it is an actual terrible idea.
We're gonna make this happen.
But
They did post about it.
They did post about it, but we're a podcast. We say ridiculous things all the time, so why not? Let's do it.
That's what I do for a living.
We're going to do a little draft of the top. We're going to pick from the top 20 MPO and top 20 FPO players in the world off of UDIS rankings. And we're going to draft our 4 MPO players and our 3 FPO players for our 7-person mixed ultimate frisbee team. Now, the reason why this would never happen is at least 1 or 2 people would get injured. If we actually did do an ultimate frisbee like exhibition game with disc golfers, people would get injured. It would be bad.
Really? You think so?
100%, Silas. There are people, especially if some of the people we pick right now.
Do you think you would get injured?
No, because I would train myself and I'd be smart on the field. But there would be people that don't know what they're doing, which are also that's super. I mean, have you ever played pickup basketball with people that don't know what they're doing? It's like one of the most dangerous things ever because you go up in the air and they're like flying in. Like it's very dangerous to play sports with people that don't know what they're doing. So this would never happen, but it's gonna be fun to do it. And
I think the bigger risk of injury would just be from like running hard for an extended period of time.
And cutting, stuff that they're not used to doing.
Like you're just not like when you train for disc golf, you don't
Yeah.
need to train like high intensity cardio. You just train like low intensity cardio because you're just walking.
Maybe there needs to be money on the line.
There's also a reason
that wouldn't stop injuries. That would make
No.
injuries worse
No, but
if
it
there
would
was money
make
on the
people
line.
train if there was enough money on the line.
No,
they wouldn't.
There's no
They
point to
wouldn't.
train for an exhibition ultimate match. You just show up and blow a hammy.
Also, I wouldn't
That would
really,
be my plan.
I wouldn't really say what I'm saying is calling out people for not being disc golfers not being athletes. I think
they're
I think
athletes
it's-
for disc golf.
Yeah, I think
It's a different sport.
I think we are all aware that if you were talking about pulling someone from one sport into another sport, that is a very demanding running sport, jumping sport, cutting sport. You're probably not thinking like Formula 1 drivers, NASCAR drivers, golfers, disc golfer. You're not probably picking from those people to be like, oh yeah, those people would.
If you
like,
took golfers to
those are-
basketball, there would still be a high chance of injury. Because
Absolutely, because they're not doing that.
They're training to play golf.
Yes.
They're not training to cut and sprint.
Yeah.
Like
So
your sport doesn't
Phil Mickelson
require
running
it.
down the court.
Yeah,
not-
Phil Mickelson's not going to posterize someone with a dunk.
it's not really a slight at them. It's just
No,
something that
they're
they don't
different-
train. They don't train.
You're
at.
a different type of athlete.
Okay, so we're gonna do a snake. We're gonna do a little snake action. So, well, actually, we're not because I don't think there's like a real advantage of picking first or third. So I'll go in the middle. I'll take second.
Okay. We'll give Silas first.
No.
Well, I have a number behind.
No.
I have a number. I have a
okay,
number
okay,
behind
okay.
that.
You take first, man.
Oh, you just want to give it to Hunter?
Yeah,
I'll give it. Why can't I just give it to Silas?
No, you're
I'm
getting
giving it to
Hunter's.
Hunter. It's
Hunter's
been
taking
declared.
it.
But now I have to have the first pick. I didn't want the
Yeah, I
first
know.
pick
It's
because
been-
I don't want the first out of 20 because who I pick here, I'm going to
You're
get
going
fouled.
MPO, so I'm going to write it down, and then at the end we can kind of discuss. I'll say everyone's team.
Oh boy.
Okay, so here we go. First pick in the never going to happen disc golf to ultimate frisbee exhibition
gonna
goes.
Kevin Jones.
It's a good pick.
Dang it. That's what I was.
I just looked at it. I think he's the most athletic. He played college football.
It's a good pick.
He did?
Yeah. He was a kicker, but no one needs to know that.
Oh.
He did play college football.
All
though.
right, Kevin.
You have to be in good
Jones.
shape to play college football no matter what position you're in.
To be a kicker.
You still have to be in good
Alright.
shape. You still go to team workouts.
I am going to go with.
It should be a snake draft. Silas should get to pick twice.
All right, Silas, you're picking twice. I'm going with Calvin.
Interesting.
Calvin Heimberg.
I feel like there's a player
Should
on
we
the list
should we
you
should we
overlooked.
kind of explain? Should we do like a quick explanation of why we're picking that person?
I did.
Yeah, go for it.
I have seen Calvin run. Many of these people on the top 20 I've never seen run. He doesn't look unathletic when he runs. He's also nearly the same height as me. He's very tall, very lanky. Normally tends to be a very good receiver potential. And yeah, I think he could be a very good deep receiver. So I'm going with Calvin.
Okay.
Now, Silas, you get the third pick MPO and then the first FPO pick.
That is
Oh,
true. Yeah, so
first
we're gonna
FPO
so
pick.
we're
I
gonna
wasn't ready
go
for this.
since we're doing 4 MPO players, we're gonna go round 1, 3, 5, and 7 MPO, and then 2, 4, 6
FPO.
FPO.
Okay. So for MPO,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Ricky.
That's a good pick.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
He
It's a good
doesn't
pick.
look unathletic.
Well, he's not.
It's a good
Why
pick.
not? Look it.
Yeah. I've never seen him run, but
You never seen Raptor legs?
no.
You're missing out, man.
This whole brand.
All right.
And
I'm
your
going
first
with Ricky.
FPO.
What does he
Okay,
say? Why
I
Saki's back?
gotta pull up the list.
Is that what he
Saki
says?
Saki Bomb's
Saki
back.
Bomb. Saki Bomb's back.
Yeah.
I need to start looking at FPO because I don't even.
FPO.
I've got a. Oh no, I know my first pick.
Dude,
You're
get
not gonna
there.
pick her either, so I'm solid.
You sure about that?
There's 0% chance you pick this person.
What if I do?
Well, you
Mm-mm.
go ahead and pick Silas.
I'm all right. I'm going with.
Don't you dare. There's no way.
He's gonna do it. I don't even know who's in your mind, but he's gonna pick her.
If
I'm
you-
gonna.
It's a 1 in 20 chance. Don't you dare.
I'm gonna go with. Kristen Tatar.
Okay.
That's a great pick.
All right.
It's a
Wow.
great pick. She seems very athletic.
Just picking the
Yeah.
number 1 player in the world on both rankings. That's an interesting choice. Did you even
Oh,
scroll?
I didn't even mean to do that on purpose.
Did you
I
even
didn't mean to do
scroll,
that on purpose.
Silas? You literally just picked the
I
both number
scrolled.
1 players in the world. All right. Thank God. I'm going with Kona.
What's your reason?
Well, first off, she posted a comment on the Instagram post that Disc Golf Pro Tour did that said, like, I have no problem laying out for a disc. So already mentally, that's one of the hardest things to do in Ultimate Frisbee is to like mentally get yourself to
Really?
like lay out. You think you can do it? An
I've laid
actual
out
layout.
for
An actual layout.
I've laid out for plenty of stuff in videos just for humor, much less for
When?
I
competition.
mean, I feel like
When?
it's not that hard, Brody. If you have any ounce of
Everyone thinks they're doing
athleticism,
it?
Well, no, like if you just
All right. I'm gonna well,
like I'm laying out for a.
all right.
for a
I'm
catch.
putting it in the
Yeah.
notes. I'm putting in the notes that we will do a layout contest and I will see if you
I
guys
mean, now I'm not saying I'm gonna complete the catch, but I will.
No.
I will.
You're diving. You're
yeah,
diving.
my body
now.
will be horizontal.
You will be horizontal moving forward.
Yes.
Oh man, guys, we just got an awesome video idea. This is gonna be great. It is. It
I've
is
done that.
literally.
Who knows how many times?
It is literally one of the harder things for people to do because
Okay,
Why?
you got to think.
'Cause-
In basketball, if a ball's going out of bounds,
that's not a layout.
and I swan
That's
dive,
not a layout.
I know I'm not fully horizontal, but I'm jumping
also
into
not
metal
running-
bleachers.
But you're also not running
not
full
diving-
speed. You're not also running full speed.
Yes, to save a ball going out of bounds.
All right, we'll
I'm
see.
full sprinting and jumping into a crowd of people.
Ella
and
Hansen
metal
is
bleachers.
not in the top 20.
No, she's 21st.
Yeah.
Versus diving.
We're
on
doing
a
top 20 picks.
field.
We're only picking the people
But-
in the top 20.
I
This- I mean,
Kona
his-
Panis is a good pick.
I bet
just,
the people-
the reason you picked her is
No,
funny.
I bet the people in the well, I mean, that's not the only reason I picked her. I'm just saying mentality wise, I love seeing that from being a coach because we're coaches. We're not playing. If we're playing, it's over. My team's gonna win
Hunter, someone said you're getting hurt.
How would I get hurt?
because you're gonna probably land wrong and break your clavicle.
How'd I break a clavicle?
Right here, dude.
I know what a clavicle is. How am I breaking that?
Because
Land on your
ultimate frisbee players that
shoulder or
are
something.
way better than you break it all the time when they lay out.
You'd have to I feel like I'm laying out to
gotta test
catch
this
it.
out.
We're
and
gonna
then
test it out.
bracing and hitting.
We're gonna test it out. We're gonna test it out.
You're acting like it's the most impossible thing on earth.
I'm not saying it's
Swan
impossible.
dive to grab a disc.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying to lay out to where it's like you're actually laying out and catching a frisbee.
The catching part, I said, I don't think I'm.
But
Like,
it's-
catching would be very hard. But committing to lay out, like I've committed to way scarier things than that.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. If it looks terrible, I will tell you it looks terrible, and that's not a layout.
Okay, well,
So we'll see.
it doesn't have to look perfect. I have to commit.
Yeah, but if your legs just like fall out
does the
underneath
catch
you
count?
and you lean forward like that, it's not a layout. A layout is you're running full speed.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump.
You jump off of one leg
Now you have to remember, I
and
can't
go
jump very
horizontal.
high.
We're not jumping high. You're jumping out. and
Yeah,
getting
I'm gonna
horizontal.
jump out.
All right,
I'm
we'll
just-
see. All right, you're up. Move it on. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
Do you have to catch it?
No, I said I
no,
probably won't catch
no.
it.
No.
I'm going. Man, this is tough because I thought for sure one of you would take in Paige, but I'm going Valerie Mandujano because I think she, for some reason, she seems more athletic than Paige
good
when
pick.
it comes to like fast sports. I could be way off there.
It's a good pick.
I also feel like she I don't know. For some reason, I feel like she'd be a better ultimate player. And then MPO. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a reason y'all haven't picked Paul, but I gotta pick Paul.
All right.
I feel like he would have been my number 2 pick. I would have went Kevin Jones, Paul. But y'all both skipped over him, which makes me think that I'm missing something, but I don't think I am.
It's fine.
I mean, Paul
how
is
old is
5'8" and could dunk a basketball
How
a few
old is
years ago. Still in his athletic prime.
5'8" and could dunk a basketball.
Is he
can
5'9"
dunk?
or is he 10?
Paul
No, he's
can
5'8".
dunk?
He can't right now, but like 3 years ago he could.
Oh,
He had a 40-inch
impressive.
vert.
Have you not seen the videos?
that's
There's
impressive.
videos of him dunking on YouTube.
I mean, we gotta see that. I'll look.
I just feel like
We'll
if
check
he had
it
a
out.
40-inch vert, I would have known about it.
He probably doesn't right now.
No, I'm just saying in general. 5'8" dunking a basketball, you have to be like.
Or is he 5'10"? How tall is Paul? Let's figure that question
I
out
mean,
first.
even if you're 6 foot, your
How tall are you?
hand.
I can't
up in
answer
the
that because there's a
air.
giveaway going on right now that people are trying to guess my height.
Wait, how?
Oh.
How?
I'm
What?
less than 6 feet. I'll tell people that.
What vertical
You're
do
probably
you?
Like,
But you have to remember Paul's ape index or whatever it's called. He has very long arms.
I know, but I'm just.
Very long arms.
I'm just saying. Like,
I bet his wingspan's over 6 feet easy.
Like, could
So
he
when he
touch?
reaches
Could he
up-
touch the rim like with
doesn't
his
your
fingertips?
wingspan-
Maybe.
Isn't your wingspan supposed to equal your height?
No one in the chat thinks Paul can dunk.
He can't dunk right now.
No, I don't think anyone in
2015
chat
Paul-
believes that he could dunk
Okay.
in
no,
general.
That's fine. The chat doesn't have to believe the truth.
Okay.
All right, what's your pick, Brodie?
I just.
Is this MBO? We're picking MBO now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go with. You know, I'm going. This is a little bit of a dark horse pick. Little bit of a dark horse pick. Oh, gosh, I'm stuck in between 2 people. Who do I want here? No, you know what? This would be a good person. I think they'd be pretty decent. I'm going Andrew Marweed. One, because I literally thought when I played with him in Idlewild that I played Ultimate against him. I just thought it was someone that looked exactly like someone. Also, I don't know why people don't get this. We're picking the top 20 players in the world.
Yeah, you're only picking from the top 20.
If they're not in the top 20, we cannot
like
pick
people
them.
are saying Big Germ.
Big Germ's not a
Big
top
Germ's
20
not
player
a
in the
top-
world.
Top 20.
We can't pick them. So if you're following along at home, open up your UDIS rankings.
Nico,
Top 20. Top 20.
Not a top 20.
No, he's 22nd in the world.
Yeah, so we're only can pick the top 20 in the world. I think Andrew
Jeremy
Marweed
Colleen is 32nd.
I think Andrew Marweed has. I think he's even taller than me. I think he might be 6'6".
He's very tall.
So I've got Calvin
Really?
and Andrew. Also,
You got the height.
something that you guys do want to kind of think about a little bit is just the wingspan factor of like being able to, one, defend, but also to like step out and throw. Like you have to be able to step out and throw. And I think Andrew Marweed has shown that he's very, very good in the woods, can scramble really well. And normally that means someone that's comfortable standing in different, awkward positions and throwing. So I got Andrew Marweed for my round 3 pick. Silas?
Okay. I think I'm going with Hammers here. Adam Hammers.
Okay.
Not a bad pick.
I feel like he's somewhat athletic. He's always wearing those jerseys and stuff.
Some of the least-
gotta add something.
Some of the least athletic people I know
That
are the
is
people
true.
walking around in basketball jerseys.
If
So
you wear-
you can't use that and say he's athletic.
Well, you know what? I did. All right. I
Oh.
did. I said it. It's done.
That's
Oh,
incredible.
man, that's
Adam Hammers,
great.
you're on my team.
I mean,
man.
he is athletic, so I can't say it's a bad pick, but to say that's the reason, that's funny.
I love that.
You got to have your FPO pick too. You got to pick
Oh,
twice.
whoa.
That's
I wasn't
funny.
ready for that.
Gosh, that's hilarious.
Top 20.
I'm gonna start wearing basketball jerseys. So Silas thinks I'm athletic.
Yeah, man. Do it.
That's definitely not the first thing that comes to my mind when someone's just wearing a Now, if you're like wearing a basketball jersey to like work out or to do something athletic, then sure. But like if you're wearing a basketball jersey to the grocery store, I'm not thinking like, oh my God, that guy's probably so athletic.
I bet he plays for the. I bet he plays basketball.
I bet that guy's sick. I bet that guy has a 40-inch
Now,
vert.
if you look like built and you're wearing like college like warm ups, then I'm like, that guy might play for colleges in town.
Yeah.
All right, Silas.
But if he wears a jersey, I immediately go, okay, well, I know he doesn't actually play basketball.
I need your pick, Silas.
Okay, my pick is going to be.
We're doing rapid fire here. 5 seconds.
I'm going with. Has anyone picked Paige?
Nope.
I'm picking Paige. I feel like she's got to be fast.
Silas is literally picking everyone in the top 5. All right. I'm going 4th pick for my team of absolute punishers. I'm going to go with. I'm going with Katrina Allen.
Great pick.
I mean, she
I was thinking about that.
She's not afraid of the gym. She runs already, so I think her cardio would probably be up there, the best, if not one of the best, if not the best on the field. She's got great backhand distance, good forehand, and someone that's probably not afraid to hit the ground either. So I'm going Katrina Allen.
All right, I'm going with Henna Blomroos.
Ooh, that's a dark horse pick, and I love it.
I don't know a ton about her, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she's lanky, and I know she can throw a disc really well. So
Well, I hope everyone can throw the disc.
that's what I'm saying. So
They're top
she's on the
20.
top 20 FPO. I know she has that. I know she has that
You
side
better
locked
throw
down.
this well.
And like when I think, I'm pretty sure she has a really good wingspan. So according to Brodie 5 minutes ago, that's helpful. So I think between those two things.
having long arms is very helpful.
All right, back to MPO. Has anyone picked Nate Sexton?
No. You're picking Nate Sexton. Final answer.
I'm picking Drew Gibson.
Oh,
the
I'm picking Drew
switcheroo!
Gibson. I was looking right at I think Nate Sexton's a better thrower of an ultimate frisbee than Drew Gibson, but I think Drew Gibson is the best athlete.
Wait, what made you change your mind? What just made you change your mind?
I don't know.
Is it because what I said?
No, it's because I looked down at Drew Gibson and saw Nate Sexton first, and then it was like, has anyone picked Nate Sexton?
I am picking Nate Sexton. Thank you very much. That was a steal. I can't believe I got him in the 5th round. Unbelievable.
Yo.
The only person in the top 20.
Only thing I don't know about.
Only person in the top 20 that has college ultimate experience. That is a
But I just
steal
don't
in
know-
the 5th round.
I just don't-
Down the field.
Absolute
That's what I'm
steal
saying.
in the
I just
5th
don't
round.
know cardio wise.
Oh, he's fine.
But
Handler,
I think,
handler.
I
He'll
think
be a
I would-
handler.
I
He'll be
think
a handler.
I don't know what that means. I think I'd rather have.
He's not
Drew
going to be
Gibson.
running. He's going to be by the disc the whole
See,
time.
whenever I
just
played
chilling.
ultimate, everyone runs.
Yeah, because you don't. Again, this goes back to the idea that you could just show up and make an ultimate frisbee team.
Gotta get out
Okay.
to the Monday Night Ultimate.
Yeah. Well, no, those people probably do just run around, don't know what they're doing. All right, Silas, go. Your pick.
I probably dominate.
I'm going with. No one's picked Kyle Klein, right?
No.
No.
Kyle Klein. He's
Okay.
young. He's got a.
And Kyle,
something.
again, Silas just sticking to the top of that list.
He's
gotta have something
not
going.
dropping out of the top
You know
five.
your phone can scroll.
I know it can scroll.
Okay.
But all these people.
All right, you're in FPO land now.
Oh, FPO. I'm going with.
This is your last FPO player too. So you got Kristen Tarr, Paige Pierce, and who's the final?
I'm going with.
I mean, you only have a couple options here in the top 5.
No. I'm scrolling down right now.
Oh, he's scrolling.
I'm
He remembered how to
legit
scroll.
Scrolling right here. I'm going with.
Wow.
Jeez, this
I'm
guy.
Going with. I gotta make.
He's
a good
taking this
pick
very
here.
seriously.
No, he doesn't want to get blasted in the comment section.
I'm going with Heather Young.
Heather Young.
Heather Young, that was gonna be my pick. That's a good pick.
So yeah, there we go.
I'll talk her up for you. She's a lefty. Lefties
Oh, there
are
we go.
notoriously hard. It's very similar in other sports as well. You're always used to guarding a righty in practice, so when you have to guard a lefty, things are different. Timing's a little bit different. Always normally nice to have a lefty if you can. And these are all handlers. Like none of these people like jump out to me as like going to be, doing incredible things down the field. They could, but that's, everyone knows these people can throw. All right, I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to go with a little bit of a dark horse pick here, but I think she could be like one of the best. I'm going to go with Haley King.
I almost took her last round.
Yeah, I think she could be one of the best. I haven't really seen her run, So I don't know exactly what that looks like, but she looks like someone that could be good on the ultimate field. So I'm going Haley King.
I'm going with Macy Vela Diaz because she played college softball.
That's okay.
And I'm just sticking with athletes. People that I know are athletic, multi-sport athlete. I feel like you're going to, and one of them is a disc, you're going to be able to pick up ultimate.
Do you just know this stuff off the top of your head?
Yeah.
It's his job,
That's what I
Silas.
have
It's
to
his
do.
job.
In college?
Yeah.
It's his job.
It's literally, I mean, I have to know this
He
stuff.
just stalks these people's lives.
And then my final MPO pick. I'm stuck between two. One I know is athletic, but he doesn't have height, so I'm going with Kale LaVisca.
Dang. That's a good pick.
Kale LaVisca. That's my final picks, right?
Yeah, it's your
My
team.
team's locked in.
All right.
My team won.
I am going to finish mine out. I've got a lot of height, and I've got Sexton there to deal with the. Gosh, I'm like locked in right now. I really could just go anywhere. I don't really need a player, in the sense of like.
Apparently, Marweed played college basketball. I did not know that.
Doesn't surprise me. Dude's a beast. All right, I'm gonna go.
Did you pick him, Brodie?
Yeah, he's
Brodie
on my
picked him.
team. He's on my team.
I wouldn't have said that if y'all still were left to pick. And I was like, oh, dude, we got a college basketball player on the lineup.
I'm gonna go with Chris Dickerson. I'm going with Chris Dickerson.
That's a great pick.
I think my handler set would look really good with him back there. I think he might not necessarily have like the big. He does throw far, but I think his style of throwing, I don't think he would be jacking it all over the field. But I think he would be nasty at breaking the mark, and I think he could have a lot of potential on defense as well as
He
shutting
also
down handlers.
plays, unless I'm mistaken, he plays a lot of pickleball. So his cut game should be pretty good.
Good quickness.
Yeah.
All right, Silas.
He's got good lateral quickness.
Who's your last pick?
All right, my last MPO pick is going to be the one and only Joel Freeman.
That's a good one.
I thought about
That's
him.
a good one.
You know, he's going to show up. He's going to wear something flashy. Everybody's going to be attracted to him. That's
I love Silas's reasoning.
Well, another good thing is
Adam
gonna
Hammond
show
has
up
to be
and he's gonna
athletic
wear
because he wears
something great.
basketball.
Joel-
Joel Freeman, he's
well-
just going to distract everyone with his attractiveness.
I thought he was going to go with the Joel Freeman's a Christian, and a lot of times people play Ultimate at churches.
Oh, that's also a fair
Could.
one.
I mean, it could. All right. So let us know. Oh, my gosh. Let us know if you're listening to this, not on YouTube. Let us know on Twitter or Instagram who you think's team would win. Or if you're listening to us right now, let us know whose team do you think would win. We'll go through first. We'll go Hunter first. So this is Hunter's team. Hunter's got Kevin Jones. Hunter's got Val, Paul,
Valerie Mandujano.
Henna, Drew, Macy, and Kale.
It's a great team.
It's a very short team. Very short
We're
team.
fine.
All right. I
Got
got
quickness.
my team is Calvin, Kona, Andrew Marweed, Katrina Allen, Sexton, Haley King, and Dickerson. Silas, your team is Ricky, Kristen Tatar, Hammies, Paige Pierce, Kyle Klein, Heather Young, and Joel Freeman.
oh man. I feel like
All
my
right.
team's good.
Let us know whose teams win. I mean, I think my team is just stacked.
You have a stacked team.
I mean, here the problem is it's a little bit unfair advantage because I know how to like build out a team. You guys don't know what handlers are. And
Well, you
cutters
also
and all
like
that
you
stuff.
can look at your team and say it's stacked, and then be like, oh, of course it's like I know it's stacked because I know Ultimate, but like really I could have the best team, and like you're just refusing to tell me.
No, my team's stacked. My team's stacked.
I mean, I think my team wears your team out in the first 10 minutes because I just got athletes. We're running
You
circles.
have a point. He does have a. He does
We're all
have height.
sprinting.
the funny
doesn't
thing
have
is,
height.
I don't need
the
height.
funny thing is,
My guys can jump as high as everyone else can reach.
the thing that's funny is Hunter thinks that my team's playing man. We're not playing man. We're playing zone.
Zone.
We're playing zone, bro.
You're
What
How are you gonna teach
always
your
play
team a zone?
man.
do you mean?
How are you gonna teach them to play zone?
What do you mean? How am I going to teach them to play zone? I'm their coach.
Yeah, but you got 2 seconds before we tee off, before we start the round.
That's fine.
I'm trying to say game, and I said tee
Well,
off and start the round.
In between every single
Hey,
point,
a
I'll
lot of people
slowly.
are saying Hunter's getting killed. A lot of people are saying
Everyone in every
loves that.
A lot of
Loves that.
I've never been in a podcast room where the chat room's with me, and that feels good. Sometimes.
I'm
Sometimes it
gonna
hurts.
I'm gonna take a picture of this and tweet this out on the debate night Twitter and say who's winning.
Boom.
And then you guys can let us know over there too, because I don't know. My team looks good. All right, we can start taking some calls. I want to hear, because obviously everyone's getting all hyped up right now on, I want some people to roast Hunter, per usual. Who is winning in an ultimate frisbee?
The call-in number
match.
number is 434-218-3602. Again, 434-218-3602. Call in.
Respond to that tweet with a poll so people can vote. Like add. to
Can
it.
we do?
debate.
I don't think you can add a poll with a photo.
Yeah, no, you got to do it like add, and then say who wins, and then say who wins in that, and add a poll.
Oh,
It's like add.
okay. So this is our ultimate frisbee draft.
All right, we do have someone.
All right, we got someone.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, how y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Logan from DFW, and I got a non-disc golf topic for y'all.
We
All
love
right.
we love those.
Let's hear it.
All right, so the college football. One thing that we all love about March Madness is building up the suspense, right? And I think that playoffs should be extended to at least 8 teams, maybe 16. I know that football's more physically demanding, but it builds the suspense, and you have those underdog stories.
What did you have a question in there? I might have missed it.
He thinks it should be expanded to
Yeah.
Oh
8 or
yeah,
16 teams.
no, for sure. I think too. This year especially, we kind of saw that there really isn't. Georgia still is kind of out there. Some people still think that they, they're going to come back and win it all. But I think this year we definitely saw that there really isn't like one or two dominant teams. And especially if Cincinnati can do some magic, and even if they just win one game, I think that would spice it up a little bit. But yeah, I think you're right. I think 6 or 8 would be great to kind of, more football for us too, right? Like, who's complaining about that?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm rooting for Cincinnati just because the AAC doesn't have a lot of teams that have a chance to win it, and just to have someone from the AAC win it would be pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. And one thing I want to say for Hunter, you're nuts for saying that you'd rather play in cold weather than warm weather.
Thank you.
It wasn't just me. Connor, Trevor, and Silas all agree with me.
I know I'm from Dallas, and I know that we don't really get a ton of cold. Like, it was 70 degrees today. But come on, dude. You can't feel your hand.
He claims that he can always feel his hands.
Yeah.
Dude, if it's like below 50 degrees here, I'm like, no, I'm not playing.
Below 50 is a great day here.
I saw a strategy of how Hunter keeps warm with his hands, and I will not repeat it ever or tell anyone.
I think it's a pretty common strategy.
I did not like it.
That's why you don't like the cold.
I appreciate you calling in, brother.
Yeah, y'all have a good night.
You too, man. Yeah, the cold thing. I just don't think you're winning on that. Oh, you guys, I'm voting for myself.
I already voted for myself.
I voted for myself.
And
How are
apparently
you
so did other
winning?
people. Let's go.
What?
No,
Hunter's
it's okay.
winning
I
right now?
think
I never win Twitter polls.
I
ever.
think the KJ though is I think it's
And Paul.
outweighing people. Is someone here, Silas?
No.
Oh.
Oh, it looked like you answered a call.
Yeah,
I was
it
waiting for you to be
looked
like, I was waiting for you to say we had someone on the line.
There was like a survey thing that popped up.
Oh, you're
Oh,
taking
some
a
Dark Horse
survey over
survey?
there instead of answering and getting calls for us, Silas.
Gosh, I need more people to vote for me.
There's no people
immediately.
calling. Call in.
Well, that's fine.
No, sometimes the line goes down because people will.
Too many people
They'll
called at
send a
once.
screenshot where they called 60 times. We'll be like, we had like 4 calls. But tomorrow the voicemail thing will be full. I think I injured myself.
We need a better system. We keep saying that, but there is no better system.
Well, there is a better system. It just costs a lot of money.
How much money?
I don't know. I've never looked into it.
Oh well.
I just know it's like an actual phone thing. Like,
Are we gonna-
we need someone sitting there like, hello.
I was gonna say we might
please
need
hold.
we might need an
Hello,
intern
please
to do
hold.
it. Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we should have someone here.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, not much. My name is Logan from Yorktown Heights, New York. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, fantastic.
What you
I have
got?
I got a quick topic for you. I know we talked about, or no, you guys talked about a while ago, about how to get more money kind of to the pro purse. And I was just thinking, and we also talked about how you think the company should have to pay or something like that to get on maybe Jomez or to be spoken about on live coverage.
Mm-hmm.
I think every manufacturer should be required to pay the Pro Tour a certain amount of money through some type of additional disc sales. So if you want your company to be advertised on live coverage, there should be some type of, a certain type of disc or all premium plastic disc. You add a certain percentage or 50 cents per disc on top of it. I don't think any consumers or retailers are going to have a problem paying an extra 50 cents per disc or $1 per disc if they knew that money was going directly towards the pro purse.
Why would retailers get? I mean, obviously, I'm not saying this. Well, I mean, obviously, I have a side because we own a retail shop. But why would it be our job to pay the 50 cents?
No, well, I'm saying so. If we charged, I'm saying that I think a retailer could move the same amount of product. So let's say a disc cost. My family owns a retail shop as well. We sell discs. So if a disc costs $10 and we sell it for $20, if a disc costs the retailer 21 or 11, I don't think the retailer is going to have a problem selling that same disc for 21.
So the retailer wouldn't be paying it; the fans would be paying it.
So the consumer would pay $1 more, and technically speaking, the retailer would be making a slightly less percentage, but the same dollar value per disc.
I think fans would hate that. To me,
you think
I think the answer is I don't see it adding that much value. Commentator, instead of saying beat in mid range, says beat in rock. I mean, if someone is with Innova and you are dying to know what that 4-speed mid range is they threw, it's going to be pretty easy to discover it's a rock. So to me, I think that like the manufacturers, if they want advertisement on the Pro Tour, just buy commercials, which they're kind of already doing. And that doesn't have to be a direct raise to the consumers, because I don't think it doesn't make sense to me if there was a royalty that had to come out. Let's say it was like 10 cents per premium plastic disc if the retailer chose it. First off, I think that's crazy. I think retailers would rather just pay $10,000 a year or something to the Pro Tour to have that right. But if it was like a 10-cent charge per disc and the manufacturers decided to even put that onto us as retailers, I think you would already hear a pushback from retailers, much less, then retailers are posting like, hey, all our disc costs are going up by 10 cents because the Pro Tour did X, Y, or Z. Then people are just going to dislike the Pro Tour overall. I don't think that ever works out in the Pro Tour's favor.
Yeah, I don't hate that logic. I also don't. I don't see, as far as the commentary side, I see it's pretty far from even especially if the commentators know the players, it's going to be hard for them to kind of hold back and say, oh, this is their neutral flying mid-range, instead of saying the name of the disc that they know because they played with that person or they know their bag very well.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time for sure. I'm sure there'll be some people that slip and say it, but at a certain point, you want those people to be professional in the booth, and if they're professional commentators, then they obviously are going to get better. So I think it's definitely something that could be implemented.
Yeah, I know we relate it back and forth to golf a lot, but golf, you're hitting the same clubs over and over again. It's not like, oh, this guy now he's throwing this disc versus, the last 3 courses he threw this because this one's more wood or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting to know, because, you kind of want to know, okay, this guy put an understable fairway in his bag because he's going to throw some flip-up forehands in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
That was pretty much it. Yeah,
All
if you guys are ever in New York for a Bogey Bro battle,
ooh,
SDR State Park, great course.
Ooh, all right. We might take you up on that. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. Let me know.
Take care, man.
Thanks, guys.
I just took away New York. Sorry, I just got lost. Playing disc golf in New York would be cool. Playing golf in New York is awesome. I've done it a couple times.
I think I mean, there's a lot of courses in New York, but like near the city. I think you have to go like drive out on Long Island to get to a course.
Is it like a little bit of a drive?
Well, I mean, there's not a course in Central Park.
Yet.
All right, we should have someone.
Yet. Hello.
Hey guys, it's the Dark Horse Andrew Wallen here.
Oh, what's good, man?
So I've got two things if you want to tackle both of them. So the first one is the Cloudbreaker 3 is dropping tomorrow. And so my first topic is that manufacturers need to figure out a distribution method. So tomorrow, Cloudbreakers they're gonna drop both on Discmania's website as well as retailers.
Mm-hmm.
They need to pick one or the other instead of them both being released, retailers and on the website.
Why?
So a retailer is investing the money into, buying them and into their infrastructure and all that, and then they have to compete. So they get, if you're in tier 3 of a retailer, you only got 15 discs.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to compete against a manufacturer who might have 2,000 discs available in inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just saying they should pick or choose either retailer or themselves just because of competition, essentially?
Yes.
Well, don't you? So here's a secondary question. Let's say that the Discmania in this case didn't release it. I'm assuming that you run some type of retail shop by knowing the tier 3 stuff, or did you just see that somewhere? Okay, so let's just say then they don't do it. Do you not think that as a consumer they would immediately go to Infinite or Marshall Street or OTB or whoever is their main go-to shop as their secondary option, and you'd have the same type of competition there? Like as a consumer?
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be competition amongst different retailers, but when you're competing directly against the manufacturer, it's just in a lot of other products you see a distribution method being chosen as to either you're direct to consumer or you're going through retail, but you don't see a lot of products where they're marketed both ways.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, because I mean there are some products that I agree with you, but I always look at it the way Discmania is doing it. I have no problem with, simply because there are limits. There's only X amount made, and everyone that I've ran into is, I mean, they're gonna sell out pretty much everywhere because there's a very high demand disc. I don't think we're going to actually get ours in time, unfortunately, but I mean, we'll sell them out a few days after, because whenever it comes in, it comes in. But a disc like this is so high demand because it's the Cloudbreaker DD3, and there's only X amount in circulation. Where I 100% agree with you, and I think it was an issue that you might have dealt with as a retailer, we avoided because of Trevor's mistake that he was upset he made, but now we're like, thank goodness you made, was the commemorative envies that MVP did. They went the other route of only going to retailers. I believe they might have had some on their site, but they did like fully pre-orders, and the issue it created, which would have created an issue with the DD3 or any other disc, was essentially however many you ordered is how many they made. So retailers are getting stuck with hundreds of these things, because like if you're a big retailer and you have 300 and you're stuck with it, who cares? You're going to move 300 discs.
Yeah.
If you're Play It Again Sports and you get 300 because you're like, oh my gosh, I can actually get plastic for once, and you're only selling it in person, or you might be selling like a little bit online, and now you have 300 of one disc, that's a big chunk of your inventory.
Yeah.
And a commemorative disc, the whole idea, and the same thing with this DD3 or with, Innova's Tour Series stuff, anything like that, the whole idea of it is it's limited. And so I definitely agree with you there of like, if they decide when we go to retailers we make it unlimited, then it just like puts a lot of risk on a retailer of like, if you get hundreds in, and like everyone else gets hundreds in, then like best of luck to you. But in this case, I mean, I think that I don't have an issue with it. It's similar to Discraft releasing the Big Z Hades at the same time on their site, and around the same time that retailers are getting them in. I think a lot of companies do it. One thing too is a lot of the manufacturers, Discmania, I don't think this is fully true of, but a lot of manufacturers aren't set up to handle direct to consumer. So consumers will choose to go to retailers first over manufacturers simply because they want to be able to pick their foil color, weight, and disc color, or they want to be able to know it's going to be shipped to them in a few days, or they don't want to have to deal with the customer service of an entire manufacturing company over just a retailer. So I don't, at this stage in disc golf, I don't hate it, but I definitely think as disc golf gets bigger, it's going to end up being more stuff being released through retailers and less stuff through their sites.
Yep. So, not to like keep on that topic, but I had one other topic I wanted to bring up real quick too. That Hunter, I think you kind of fall in the same boat as well. So I'm at personally, my rating is about as high as you can go and still be an amateur in disc golf, but there is no future for me in MPO if I want to be competitive. I mean, you guys, I don't know how closely you followed Maple Hill, but I had zero chance of competing against Paul and those guys. I did just shoot my highest rated round ever at 10:51, so I theoretically could compete. My best round ever could hit Paul's average theoretically, but are we at a point where you either need to add a higher level AM division or maybe like almost like a minor leagues for the pros? Like, does there need to be that middle ground there, or is it just when you kind of get to the point where you're winning every AM tournament, are your options either retire or get smoked in pro? Because any AM tournament I play nowadays, like I'll show up and just the entire field is going to rag on me because I'm rolling in at quite a bit higher than everyone else in that division.
Well, I think so, because I went through a similar thing. I don't know, it's been a few years ago where I was like, MPO just seemed like a big jump for me, but also an AM tournament. I showed up and I was like, I showed up and I knew if I played decent, I was going to win. And the boat I found was essentially, and this sounds like kind of the level you're at, of if you went to a AM Worlds or US AM, you would find yourself competitive of like, you're going to be happy in like a top 20 type finish because there's a lot of people there. Because advanced doesn't have a rating ceiling. You can be 1070 and be an advanced if you wanted to be. I believe. I could be wrong there unless they updated it recently. But I know there used to be 1,000 rated players playing AM Worlds simply because they wanted the AM World title. But at local AM tournaments, you're smoking the field because most local AM tournaments don't have players that are the top of AM, the MA1 division. But what I found was basically when I made the jump to local MPO, that was essentially the same level as high level MA1 at like an AM Worlds or something like that. So what you can do, if you still want to play in AM Worlds and stuff like that, is play local MPO and just deny cash. So then you're playing in the local MPO. There will be a few killers pretty much anywhere you go in the country at this point, but you'll find yourself being able to cash if you're at the top of MA1 and jump into MPO. You'll be able to find yourself cashing, and then go out and play a few big AM tournaments if you want to stay there, or take the route of just keep playing MPO, and if you win a local C tier, B tier, whatever, take some cash. It is what it is, and then play 1 or 2 pro tours just for fun while you still can, or then jump into some silver series or something and just kind of have fun with it. But no, I don't think there needs to be another division just because I don't think that there can ever be a true sandbagger in MA1. I don't think that exists because that's the top of advanced. If you were trying to play intermediate and you're good enough to be winning MA1, yeah, that move up. But at MA1, the top of MA1, a lot of the guys who are at the top there, if they went on tour, sometimes would be top 30 players in the world, but they're trying to win AM Worlds first. So you'll find guys who are in that weird spot where they don't want to take cash, so they're playing MA1, but they should be MPO players, and they're not baggers because that's what MA1's designed for.
That's good advice.
Yeah, I like the way that you explained your situation. Like I said, I'm in that exact same boat right now. So That's all I had for you guys. I do have one last thing. With Conor's video, I haven't finished it yet. Did you guys end up getting pizza afterwards? Because he hit the fairway on that one hole.
We did get pizza. We've now got pizza twice thanks to you. So we are rolling with it.
All right, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Yeah, he was Connor's dark horse pick to send us money for pizza.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I think the only way that you could be considered a sandbagger in advance is if you were cheating, of where it's like you used to play an open and then you changed your name to drop into advance.
Well, you can
you
can apply for AM status.
Yeah, but that's doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And then you can't I'm saying the only way that someone can be like, dude, this guy's cheating is if you're playing an open under one name and you're playing an AM under another name.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Trevor's tried convincing me to reapply for my AM status just because I'm nowhere near as good as I was when I was playing tournaments. And he was like, you should do it because then we can enter AM doubles and try to qualify for US AM doubles.
Would you guys be eligible for that?
If we were both AMs, yeah.
There isn't any you can't be. There's no stipulations where you can't have cashed or something.
No, because if I got my AM status back, all of that would go out the window. I'd be an AM again.
Oh,
it's just you have to have AM status.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can get AM status back. I also would feel very weird the first tournament, walking back and being like, oh, I'm playing MA1. At a local tournament. At a big tournament, I belong in the middle of MA1. But at a local tournament, I would definitely feel weird showing back up.
What's up,
after
guys?
playing open for a few years and being like, haha.
I'm back.
I'm
baby.
back.
All right, we got someone.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going, guys?
Oh, it's going good. How are you doing?
Good. So this is kind of an old topic, but it's markers or whatever you call it, the people with the flags that mark the disc if they go in or out.
Oh,
or
heck yeah.
If they, what are they called?
I think they're called spotters. Yeah, spotters or markers also could work.
Yeah. So I went to the Hellertown match play, and it was hole 2. I think it was Nico versus Calvin. And Nico throws it, and you can't see if he's OB or not.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy holds up the OB symbol. So then I literally audibly say, Calvin's gonna lay up and just win this hole automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So Calvin lays up and wins the hole automatically, basically taking all the drama, all the hype, all the fun out of the game.
I haven't thought about this.
Just because the spotter was like, yeah, Nico's already dead for this hole. Just relax. And as a fan who was walking around, it made it really boring. But
was Nico actually OB?
Yeah, Nico was OB by a foot, but it was over a little grassy mound. You can go back and cover it and watch it. You might actually hear
I think you bring up most of the time, some of these topics that get rehashed, it's just we talk about the same thing over and over again. But this is you bring up a good point, because obviously I am not a fan of spotters when they don't need to be there. I don't think you need to tell someone that they're OB or they're not OB. I think the only time that should ever come into play is if there is a rethrowing situation of where that, for pace of play purposes, you let the player know that, you are OB, you need to rethrow, instead of walking all the way up to the green and being like, oh, I'm OB, and then having to go all the way back and rethrowing. But you bring up an even more interesting point in a match play situation, because now you are actually giving the opponent information over where your disc is. And it's the same thing as it would be super advantageous is if I'm going up against Hunter and Hunter throws a shot and someone calls me and says, hey, Hunter threw that shot to 70 feet. He's not going to make that putt. You can play safe and get out of here. Versus me going and not knowing 100%, is that 50 feet? Is he 40 feet away? And now I have to kind of play that mind games. I think that's what you're talking about, is how that whole, or that situation kind of made it uneventful and not suspenseful, is because it's Calvin knew oh, he's OB, I can just lay up and win, versus a shot that's super close, and now it's you put pressure on Calvin to be does he think he's in or not? I never really thought about that, but I like it.
In match play, like
Yeah,
could
figured,
Calvin have not walked up, and that's like if there wasn't a spotter, are you allowed to go check
He has 30 seconds.
after once you address
once
your
he
lie?
addresses lie.
I haven't addressed my lie. I'm walking
No,
up to
they
look at the
changed that
thing.
rule though. They changed that rule.
To say what?
It's like to where it's like when it's your turn. They changed that rule, and then they also changed that the only thing that can distract you is people, I believe now.
Mm.
So like if a bird or something like that, like when you're putting, if a bird or a branch moves or something like that, like how players could like reset and then take another 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They canceled that.
Yeah, in match play, it's definitely. In match play, it's definitely
No, you
a
can't
more
walk up.
interesting-
You can't walk up there.
It's definitely a more interesting situation marking someone. But I mean, you could say it's only interesting if it's really close. Because like if Nico just chucked it OB,
then you know.
But also if it's really close, do you trust the spotter? Would also be the secondary question.
But that's also my argument of like when someone throws a shot, let's say like that's on like a hillside and you don't know if the disc stuck there inside a circle if it rolled away. Right? Like I won't know that until we get up there.
Yeah.
So I have to play assuming probably you threw a good shot.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like there's been multiple times where someone's called a shot OB and it's actually been inbounds.
Yeah,
and you don't know until you get up there.
Yeah, it's even worse.
But so if I was Calvin, I'd be thinking about that. But I think that I didn't watch this exact situation, so it's hard for me to speak on it. But like to me, I think that the drama was in Nico's shot, if that makes sense. Because like the second Nico shot landed OB, whether the spotter said it or not, if Calvin was like, I know that's OB, he would have done the same thing. So like the drama was in the actual like flight and getting close to being back in bounds of Nico's shot.
Yeah, no, I think the caller is saying that Calvin probably would have played that hole differently had the spotter not said it was OB.
Isn't
Because
that
100%.
Because it was close. So
Yeah.
Calvin would have assumed that he was in bounds. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's my thing is like
So it would have
if I was in
made it
Calvin's
more
shoes, I would have
interesting.
still assumed OB because I would have or inbounds just because
You always have to assume in bounds.
I
You
would
don't
I
wanna-
wouldn't have trusted the spotter if it's really close. I'm not trusting
Well,
the
he
spotter. to
clearly thought it was
determine
OB
my-
because he laid up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He either knew it was OB or trusted the
I mean,
spotter.
it's a foot away. I don't think he knew it was OB. I think he trusted.
Yeah,
the spotter.
you could hear the crowd literally be like we were all like murmuring, and then the spotter goes OB, and everyone's like it's OB, and then Calvin throws it like 40 feet into some thick, safe rough on the right because he knew OB was left. It was so obvious.
You could like dark horse be like, it's not OB. You got to go for it. They're lying to you.
I got money on the line.
All right. Well, is that all you got, brother?
And then I have one question.
Yeah.
Were you guys? I think there was talk about you guys opening a brick and mortar store in the old office.
Yep.
Is that happening?
It's happening.
Yeah, hopefully early next year.
Yeah.
It'll be
hopefully sometime in January is the
it'll
plan.
be kind of like a smaller test space to like test the idea out before we like fully commit to having like a full blown brick and mortar. But
We'll
yeah.
have to have a grand opening. We're bringing
we'll
bringing
do
a ribbon.
signing.
And Silas, you'll get us a big thing of scissors.
No, and we'll be able to like do signings.
I want the
and
huge
pop-up
scissors
stuff,
to like,
but
chop
I
the
got you,
ribbon.
man.
Yeah, to get the
no,
ribbon.
but there will
Let's
be
do
a
it.
brick and mortar store, foundation store here early next year.
All right, I'll take the trip down for the grand opening.
Perfect.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right, have a great night, guys.
All right,
You
take
too.
care.
I love that hang up volume. What's that? What is that? Sound?
That
Dukes of
is-
Hazzard?
No, it's a horn.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Is the Dukes of Hazzard horn? I've never seen
Yes,
Dukes of Hazzard.
somebody
so
in the
how would I?
comments.
Wait, is it?
How would I
Somebody
know
in the
that?
comments,
How would I
somebody in the
know? I've never
comments.
seen
Dukes
Dukes of
of
Hazzard. So
Hazzard.
how would I know that?
That's what it is.
I feel like that's just a common song. No, is that from somewhere?
That's definitely from somewhere. And it's like,
Dixieland.
it is a car horn.
Someone
That's
said
gotta
Dixieland.
What?
What the heck?
Dixie. What is Dixieland?
Zach is no longer with us.
What is Dixieland?
I don't know why.
Now
I
I'm
said it
even
like
more
that.
confused.
Yeah, Dixie.
gonna look up-
Everyone's thinking it's from Dixie.
What?
What is that?
That's got Silas is getting wrecked.
Dude,
I thought it
okay.
was Dukes of Hazzard.
I was about to say, is that the song that you hear from like an ice cream truck? I've definitely heard that. Is that in like Dumb and Dumber when he rolls
It's
up?
the horn on RV in the movie. My wife just texted me and she's 100% right.
The horn and what?
It's the RV movie The horn of the annoying
No.
people. Yes, the other couple.
No, but I don't think.
That's
no,
100% it.
No, that's where you're thinking it's from.
Yeah, no, that's where it's
It
from
could be
in my
from
head.
multiple places.
No,
That's where it's from in
That's
my
where
head.
it's from his head, but I don't
Yes.
think he's saying that's where it originated.
Yeah.
It's been in a lot of movies.
Yep. No, Liz is right.
Someone's
That's
saying
where it is.
Caddyshack,
Oh,
which I think.
Dukes of Hazzard. Somebody say Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, people are saying tons of places. So
It's
that's just a
but it's
famous
definitely from
song.
RV. It's definitely. I was thinking of it from RV. Thank you, Liz.
You were thinking of it from RV.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
RV's a good movie.
I watched that movie so many times.
Who's the main actor in that? Bateman?
No,
Jason
Robin
Bateman?
Williams.
Oh, is it Robin Williams?
Mhm.
I'm thinking maybe another RV movie. They have like an awkward family, like a daughter and a son.
Well, yeah, Robin Williams they're supposed to take this big vacation, but he needs to go on a work trip instead. So he
it's
pitches
from
it as
a song.
we're gonna rent an RV
Yeah.
and take it and go on like a road
but
trip.
one of them's like goth, right? One or indie or not grungy. Wait, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Goth is what you're thinking.
Is it
of.
goth?
But there's
No. What's the,
People
no?
are saying it's from a song.
It's not goth. It's lighter than goth. It's like
alternative punk.
no. What's the word for someone that's like they're not goth? Is like they're long gone. This is
like
someone.
metal,
There's a term for
heavy
it. Though.
metal.
Yeah, but there's a term for like that type of person.
What?
Emo. Thank you.
Oh,
The-
okay.
Is the girl emo?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
All right, we got a caller.
Oh man. All right. Hello.
Hey guys,
What's going on?
not much. This is James in Louisville. I got a multi-sport Eagle McMahon comment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Eagle McMahon is the most likely, in terms of skill, to be a multi-sport athlete. Specifically as a pitcher for MLB team. He has thrown an 80-mile-an-hour sidearm. Baseballs weigh about 141 to 148 grams. And I think that the skill set would transfer over extremely well.
Interesting. I definitely did not think you were going that route, but now that you say that, I could see it. I could see it. He's got the body type of a pitcher too. Obviously,
Right.
He would
Tall
probably,
and lanky.
He would probably need to put on a little lbs, because he is a little
Yeah.
on the thin side.
They got plenty of chemicals to do that in the MLB.
He doesn't need a hit, because I think that would be a problem, right? He
Right.
doesn't
Step up
need-
and bunt.
He doesn't need to field at anything. He just needs to freaking throw fastballs in there. So that would be the only thing I would. My only concern would just be like an injury concern situation, just because he already has like a shoulder problem. But I would love to see him throw a baseball, just to see how fast he could throw it.
For sure.
I think it'd be a great video idea for him, for sure.
Because it's one of those things of where like all the stuff you said makes a lot of sense in my head of like, yes, but then I also could see him throw a baseball like 10 feet over home plate at like 60 miles an hour.
It would be interesting to see how he would throw a baseball, because like your forehand form isn't a baseball, like how you'd pitch.
Yeah.
Well, but if
Like,
you
I
look
think
at
I
like
can
Scott
throw
Stokely
forehand.
videos,
Uh-huh.
he definitely says that the form is very similar. It's just more leaned over.
You can side
know?
You can side
And he's
pitch.
supposedly got a 550-foot sidearm.
Stokely?
does?
Stokely.
Yeah, Stokely did. I don't know if he still does.
I need him to teach me how to throw a forehand. Jeez.
He has
Well, when he was on the Nick and Matt show, shout out, he said he still has 550 backhand, 550 forehand. So
We'll see.
Heck
He's going on
yeah.
the tour. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
yeah,
Heck yeah.
it'd be
I
pretty
just know,
sweet.
like, for
so I
me,
think we
I
need to
can
get
throw-
Eagle to throw the first pitch in a minor league game somewhere in Colorado. We can find this all out.
That'd be sick. I don't think he'd do it, because last time he did something weird, he threw his shoulder out. So I don't know.
True.
But that's I never thought about that. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, very cool.
All right,
Appreciate
sweet. Yeah, thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Over under 85
I feel like
miles per hour.
I felt like my ears were being cleaned out with getting just blown in nonstop. Kevin Jones is more likely to be a two-sport athlete.
Are you over under 85 miles per hour?
How far he threw? With no accuracy, over.
See, I would disagree with you with the Kevin Jones one, is just solely because the sports that Kevin
Just a kicker. A football kicker. He was a college football kicker.
Well, why isn't he still doing
People
it?
are saying he's multi-sport though.
Why isn't he still doing it?
I was just saying I think he would have a better chance of being an NFL kicker than Eagle would have being an MLB pitcher.
Oh,
yeah.
I think what that guy was saying though is I think that guy was saying more. Hopefully, this is what he was saying is like if they went back in time and like started doing that sport
Maybe.
at a young age.
Maybe.
I hope he's not.
I
thinking
didn't
that
think that's
Eagle
what he was
could just
saying.
pop on a mound somewhere and be able to pitch.
I thought
no
that's
way.
what he was saying. I just didn't want to.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
want to entertain it more because
Yeah,
the blowing in the mic was really messing with my head.
yeah.
That's why I started laughing in the middle of it. I wasn't laughing at anything about Eagle. I was just laughing at the blow, and it also was so loud.
The other thing that's going against you also is how many baseball teams are there? There's 32 NFL teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I
there's
think so.
32 kickers on.
They
on
have, they have
teams.
backup.
No, they don't. They have punters. There are no backup kickers. They have a kicker and a punter.
There's no back.
Yeah, but that's two
No.
kickers.
A punter is
What
not.
If, what
a
if
punter
one
is
gets
not.
hurt?
They normally sign someone as soon as that person gets hurt.
Ah.
They sign someone that's not kicking.
That game they have like the backup quarterback or the punter or something.
No, normally it'll be a punter.
Just like in hockey,
But how
you
many-
have a backup goalie?
Well, yeah, but
He's
hockey.
just not dressed up.
Hockey, you're not worried about. Like hockey, you have way less players, and you have a lot of players that can play multiple positions. But in the NFL, you have very specific positions, and so you end up having to have a depth chart, and you have a salary cap and all that stuff. But how many
Pitchers does an MLB team
no,
have?
no, I know they have a lot. That's my point. I'm trying to think how many teams there are because if there's 30 MLB teams,
I don't think any of that matters.
and there's no, I'm just saying
I'm just saying. I was just from the.
being one of
From
the
what I
top
thought-
32 in the world versus being one of the top 200 in the world, you have probably a better chance.
But what
is
I
I'm
was thinking, you also have to think there's probably a lot less people trying to be a football kicker than there are people trying to be an MLB pitcher.
30. Matt May says there's 30 MLB teams. Do I believe him? Yes. I
So
do.
that'd be like 90 pitchers, probably 100 pitchers in MLB.
What?
3 a team or so.
All right, we should have some.
Okay. There's definitely more than 3 pitchers a team. There's probably closer to like 7.
I know nothing about baseball.
There's probably closer to 7 or 8 pitchers a team. Hello?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
What's going on?
Hey, this is Derek from Oklahoma City. How's it going?
Oh, we're doing good.
Hey, so got a little bit of a dark horse topic for you guys tonight. Thanks for taking my call. So I guess for context, I don't play a lot of disc golf, but I love watching disc golf. And one of the things I've never heard anyone talk about before, but I've always kind of wanted to know what your thoughts were on it. I've noticed that whenever I watch disc golf, all the pros almost on, probably 75% of the drives are launching like a run up from off of the tee pad
Mm-hmm.
to be able to throw.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought that looked really weird just optically. Like, I think there's a lot of things that obviously disc golf is going through in terms of growing pains. And that's one of the things that just watching the sport, not really having played it a lot, looks really weird visually.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got guys basically running, half speed to full speed. A lot of times having to clear some type of lip on the tee pad or even some mulch or rocks or different terrain and navigating that to then launch into a throw. It just looks really awkward and looks almost like a liability for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering, I noticed that even with a lot of newer courses like New London, for example, the tee pads are all pretty much built fairly traditionally. I mean, you see like the turf versus, concrete and stuff, but I would love to see maybe as designs kind of progress, maybe some larger, lengthier tee pads to where people aren't, especially on like pro courses, aren't having to run up, and clear huge lips and things. So
Yeah, it's definitely.
I'm just curious what yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's definitely 100% a financial thing. Concrete's pretty expensive, so when these parks are putting in tees, and are having to basically fund these tees, they're basically trying to figure out like, hey, how can we make a tee pad for cheap as possible, essentially, right? And when the Disc Golf Pro Tour comes in, it's not something, making a concrete tee pad is not something that the Pro Tour can come in overnight and be like, hey, we're going to fix all these tee pads. Also, I just don't think it's financially there yet for the Pro Tour to do that at these locations. So I think it really just comes down to at the beginning. I'm a huge advocate also of the parallelogram, I believe. Is that what I'm thinking of? Rhombus? Am I thinking of a rhombus? What is
What are you trying to do?
A diamond?
I think a parallelogram is literally anything with 4 sides.
Yeah.
So like a square is a
'Cause
parallelogram.
it's just lines run parallel.
A rectangle is a parallelogram.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, so maybe it's not a parallelogram.
You're saying where the back's wider than the front.
Yeah, I think that's a rhombus.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so the back is like twice as wide as the front. So basically, you also, because I'm sure you probably have seen a lot of people like run from the side of tee pads onto the tee pad. So I think that eliminates that, and then obviously getting a little bit deeper, because I think that you can just do a little bit of research, right? You can just have like 10 guys go out and say, hey, do your run up, and you just take the average, not even the average, just take like the high end of like how much length they need for the run up, and then boom, problem solved.
What I would be interested is if tee pads were bigger, would guys still or players still start off the back of them just out of habit?
It's a trapezoid. No, they wouldn't.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I've played on really big tee pads, and I'll find myself standing behind them out of habit.
Well, out of habit, but then you realize like you do one throw and you're like, holy cow, I messed up my footing because I try to get to the front and I messed up. Like your throw should be like a time thing.
No, well, players will
Like
run into their run up, and they'll change how many run steps they take into their run up.
But I think they would change if you had like this is a great example.
If it was like a massive
tee
pad, but if it's like right on the edge where you're starting on the back, I
but
think
go
they take a
to
step off.
go to like a driving range, right? Go to like a driving range.
I'm just saying short term, because I think current players are so used to being off the back of the tee pad that I think it would be a weird mental adjustment to not have those first few steps onto it. But long term, I agree. Like why are we starting off the back of what we're supposed to be as a tee pad?
Yeah,
like that does seem weird.
So
I wonder if there should, like, that'd be kind of an interesting PDGA rule of like your entire run up needs to be confined to the.
Oh, that's a dark horse rule.
Confined to the tee pad, because then like course design could take that into account.
James Conrad would be pissed.
Well, course design could take that into account of like make a hole harder by shortening the run up.
Standstill, like it's like only 3 feet long.
They can do like a one or two stepper for your drive. I don't know. That's interesting to think about.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but
I think it's
something I just thought about.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, in terms of execution, I think maybe if you have a larger tee pad, you run the risk of changing the angle of the drive. If you make it too large, you give different players different angles, advantages, things like that. So maybe you almost create like a launch zone where the tee pad's long enough to run up on, but then you have to plant your plant leg within, a certain zone, almost similar to like, if you're running up on a fairway shot or something.
Well, I've always said it'd be cool for them to have markers on the tee pad, right? So you have like 2 little red markers, and then you can adjust where those markers are from day to day. So one day it might be on the left side of the tee pad. The next day it might be on the right side of the tee pad. Heck, maybe it's in the middle of the tee pad on another day, and that would make that hole different. Because I think that's also, an argument of boringness, I guess some fans have, is like for a four-day tournament at the same course, you're literally watching the same shot over and over and over again. And it would be cool to see players be like, the first day everyone was throwing backhand, and the second day they changed up the location of where you could throw on the tee pad, and so like everyone's throwing forehand now on the hole. And that could be an interesting way to like change it up a little bit.
I love that idea, bro. And thank you guys again for taking my call. I've got a lot of other kind of perspectives that I'll try to call in later and bring to the table.
Heck yeah,
on another
man.
pod. Thanks again.
Of course. Take it easy. You're always welcome to call in. Do I need to do more crossword puzzles? A lot of people are concerned that they're saying that I'm always forgetting words.
You do forget a lot of words.
I do forget a lot of words. I mean, I know right now my memory is terrible, but it's not like my memory. It's not one of those things where it's like, it's just gotten terrible. Like it's always been bad. I don't remember ever having having good memory.
I mean, that might just be something that's new and you just don't remember.
But do I need to do like crosswords and Sudoku and stuff? Like I don't remember.
Sudoku's sick.
I don't remember
I love Sudoku.
anything from The Amazing Race. I don't remember anything.
But that's not fully true, because like I've seen people bring up a moment of it and then it sparks a memory.
It sparks a memory, but
yeah,
like
so you remember it.
Like when someone said trapezoid, I 100% was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. A rhombus is like a diamond shifted.
But okay, well, saying amazing rate, not remembering something for the amazing
So it's
race
like-
and not remembering a trapezoid is two completely different things. Because one's an experience and one is geometry that we're all trying to forget.
I'm never trying to forget geometry.
I
I
hate
love
geometry.
Cosine, baby.
That's trigonometry or like
Tangent.
that's calculus.
No, that's what? Geometry.
What'd you just say?
Sakatao.
Sakatoa.
Sakatoa. Yeah, Sakatoa. You know Sakatoa.
Sakatoa.
You know Sakatoa.
My geometry teacher was awful.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. You don't know Sakatoa?
I got my geometry teacher was one of those completion grade teachers.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh.
You could
I
write
hate that.
it could be 2 + 2 and you write marshmallow and you got it right.
When did you take geometry?
9th grade.
Your 9th grade teacher did that?
All completion grades.
Well, ask him how many people were in his
Yeah,
class.
Like
30.
himself.
He had
No,
30,
at 30.
And
he had
Liz.
30 people.
At 30.
You and Lizzie.
My
he's a-
Senior class.
He's a 5-star athlete.
I never once claimed that. Never once claimed that. I would
Wait, you were doing completion stuff in 9th grade?
for geometry, yeah. 10th grade I got into algebra and we didn't like you actually had to show your work and the normal math stuff.
Was that like a game changer for you? Were you just like
No,
blown
because
away?
6th through 8th grade, that's how it was. 9th grade was the only math.
Was it just that teacher
It was
didn't
just
wanna
that teacher.
teach?
It was that teacher, and it was the only time I had her was geometry in 9th grade.
How long was she there? Did she have like that thing
She
where
had been
she
there
can't
for
be fired?
no,
Yeah.
she didn't have tenure.
Oh.
That didn't exist. It was a
Oh,
private
okay.
school, but she had been there a long time.
So she
And
didn't go
everyone
to
was
school.
like, "She's the worst math teacher."
Oh, okay.
But it is what it was.
Well, no wonder you don't know Sakatoa.
I mean, that sounds
My
familiar,
gosh.
but I don't remember what the frick that is.
What's the most famous math day ever?
March 14th,
Thank you.
Pi Day.
Pi Day, baby. Yeah. All right, let's take another call. Last call.
All right, here we go. Last call.
Hello, hello.
Yo, what up? Last call. Love it.
Heck yeah. What you got?
Dude, we got Taco again here from York, PA, baby.
All right, all right.
All right. This could be subjective, but I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Debate this if we need to. But I've heard you guys talk about this before a little bit. Player packs. I've been in all the way up through the line, MA2, MA1, and I don't think they're necessary for every division. And we've talked about how to get money into the game and especially out with some local tournaments and stuff. And I don't know if there's maybe optional player packs. I just don't think every division needs to get a player pack. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on that, and I can go back and forth if needed.
Yeah, I mean, Open right now doesn't get players packs pretty much ever. Sometimes if there's like a sponsor that donates like a mug or a t-shirt or something because they instead of donating money, then like the Open players will get that. But 99% of the time, Open players aren't getting players packs. But I agree that lower divisions, like AM divisions, it's not necessarily like a necessary thing. It's just going to be really hard to get rid of in disc golf. I think that it should be. I think that you should get something, but I think it should be smaller, like maybe a disc or a hat. Because like we every year for the Battle for Bedford, our main tournament, we look at like how are we going to up the players pack? How are we going to up X, Y, or Z? Because that's what an AM walks away from the tournament a lot of times, judging it on the players pack and the amount of payout. Whereas like a great example was we just ran the turkey trot, just a normal run, and 95% of the value was on the actual run itself, showing up and experiencing.
What did we get? We got a shirt.
We got a shirt and a
cheap
beanie.
metal.
And a beanie.
We got cheap metal. We got a beanie.
And then your bib.
And then you got they had like maybe some bananas and granola bars and stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
most people
probably
are
like-
doing that race and they're thinking when they're paying the money, they're paying for
the beanie only went to the first
Oh,
100
can you
people that signed up.
if you're listening to the stream, are you possible to mute it? Is that possible? We're getting some feedback.
Yeah, I guess on speaker here. I'm taking off speaker.
Yeah, then you'll be
Try
good.
that.
All right, no worries. Yeah, I think that it's one of those things where I think short term there's gonna be a lot of pushback and people will hate it. Long term, I think it would be the best for the sport if amateurs cared more about or not cared more, but thought more about their entry fee being towards the experience and being able to play in the tournament.
Because that would also allow entry fees to come down.
Come way down.
Yeah.
Imagine if entry fees were $30.
Yeah.
I feel obviously we're not having, but here's the other thing too. Think about this. If how much is an entry fee right now for like a B tier?
Probably like $50.
50
$60.
bucks. So imagine this too. Imagine if that came down a little bit, and now instead of the TDs having to like really struggle and do all this stuff for player packs, if some of that money actually went to the TDs, you would not only get better tournaments, you would actually get better TDs, because now TDs would be competing with one another, because now you can make money. And so obviously you're going to try to have the best tournament. And it's not so much on the player pack, because that's the thing, is like you could show up and the tournament could suck, but they could have a really good player pack, right? If we could flip it to where now the tournament is sick, like it's a really well run tournament, there's a lot of awesome things that go with it, and it's not so focused on the player pack, I think then it's just going to be best for the sport, growing it forward, especially like brand new players coming in. If the tournaments run really, really well, they're going to have probably a much better feeling leaving that tournament than leaving with a bunch of stuff that they're like, they don't really care about, because new players probably don't really care, about whatever's in that. I mean, half the stuff in player packs too are like stickers and like.
I think new players are the
10%.
ones that get really excited about it.
You're talking about new players that know what they're talking about. I'm talking about like someone that like just started playing disc golf and is like, oh, I'll play in a tournament.
Yeah, they love new discs, new like stickers, stuff like
But
that. The
but
players
new
that get
discs-
annoyed at it are the players who've been playing in advanced for years, and they're like, I'd rather just have more payout
Yeah.
than my 450th
the
disc.
new disc should be paid for. Like you should buy those. Like there should be like a retail spot at the tournament of where, just like you're talking about the Masters, right? When you go to the Masters, you go to the merch tent and you buy stuff for the Masters. It'd be the same thing as like, hey, this is my first disc golf tournament. I want to take something away from it. So you go and you get a disc, or you go and you get a mini, you get a hat or something like that, which would also generate more money for tournament directors, which ultimately at the end of the day, the more money tournament directors get, the better the tournaments are going to get. That's just how it's going to be. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
It's good. Like I've played a lot of sports, and I've never had a player pack in another sport except for disc golf. And I've never bagged a disc that I've gotten from a player pack in disc golf. I think it's cool for a new player to walk away with something, but I think it would be much better to have the experience be great, to have great TD start to enter the game now in 2022, 2023, that we can respect and trust to throw great tournaments, than to have, a couple of discs for that might be premium plastic, maybe even not.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So we'll see. We'll see if the switch is coming.
Come on, bring it on.
Love it. Thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
I think he said he called in from York. There was a lot of people loving that. York represent.
That's where Trevor's from, I
A
believe.
lot of York in the chat. Heck yeah.
Well, there you have it. Another
Yeah.
week of debate night has come and gone.
Do we take like a hiatus? What are we doing here? Where's
do you mean?
everyone's thought process? Are we running it back again next week?
Why wouldn't we?
Well, I just think, like
You getting burned out?
no, I'm not getting burnt out. I love the
This
show.
guy. He's
For
not
me-
a podcaster.
Well,
man.
here's the thing. It's one of the
You got to put your head down and grind.
The question is like, do we want to continue going the disc golf only route? I mean, I do appreciate some callers came in tonight and didn't talk about disc golf. Love that. Do we want to go only disc golf? Because like at a certain point, what are we talking about?
I feel like we talk about non-disc golf things. The hot and cold debate.
What's the hot and cold debate? Oh,
We're not rehashing it.
no, I know
We
what it is.
can't do that,
I
man.
know what it is now.
I thought you were trying to miss because it's next week's Christmas week. Christmas week.
Is Christmas next week?
Next Saturday.
No,
Christmas.
I'll be here. It's not like I have anything else going on. I'll be here. What I'm trying to say is like, and again, this is someone that, if you guys are listening to, you can drop in the comments or hit us up on Twitter and stuff. It's just one of those things of like, next week, what are we going to talk about? And then the week after that, what are we talking about? I feel like there's
Figure it
like,
out.
I feel like
It's debate night. People call in.
Just what we do, man.
no, I get that. But I'm saying like, is this a potential, if it's a disc golf show, because Grip Locked, I feel like Grip Locked, you guys have other things, topics, stuff like that you can talk about where, people here, they want debates. They want us to go back and forth. And it's like, at a certain point, it's like, what the heck are we doing?
Brodie's going through a midlife crisis right now.
No, is no one
We'll be
saying
back
that?
next week.
I mean, we'll be here next week. Hopefully, you will be here as well. Is no one understanding what I'm talking about though? The season doesn't start until the end of February.
Yeah, which means we only got like 8 more weeks.
Yeah.
8 more episodes.
To talk about
This
what?
we've done like the whole off season.
Yeah, we're already like
I know,
we're
but
midway through.
I know, but I'm feeling like there's nothing to talk. If we're only going disc golf, there's very few things that we can debate about unless we bring up topics that have already
You
happened.
let people call in.
Yeah.
I know, but how many call-ins tonight were actually debates of people disagreeing with us, or they're just asking us questions?
If they ask a question, it might spark a debate.
They're all good questions, though. Everyone's calling in to ask questions. I feel like some people are understanding me in the chat. You guys are not right now, and it's frustrating me a little bit.
That's why we're on debate night.
Because I'm wondering, like, is this a seasonal show?
Debate.
Is this a seasonal show?
No, because we're not talking. We're not a news show. We don't talk about what goes on in the season.
We are going to. What the heck?
We're not going to sit here and be like, and the winner of last week.
No, we're not going to do
that's
that.
What I do on
but
Grip Locked.
no, we're not going to do that. But I'm saying, like,
If Grip Lock's not a seasonal show, this sure as heck isn't.
no, Grip Lock can be more of an all-round show because this show needs like stuff to have. If it's disc golf only,
It doesn't have to be disc golf only. We never claimed that. We called it debate
That's very
night.
true. Hunter's got a point.
We
Doesn't
never once
have
claimed
to be
it.
disc golf only.
I know, but
It's
I feel
debate
like,
night, and we're on Foundation Podcast.
But I feel like everyone
Neither of which
that's
say disc
watching or
golf.
listening are disc golfers.
I mean, when we talked about the Jake Paul Woodley fight to start the show, it was the top of the show. First thing we said.
Next week, we will not be talking about disc golf.
All right.
Okay.
I'll bring in topics because I have a lot of stuff to talk
I feel
about
like
outside of disc golf.
Pre-planning the topics would be good too.
What do you think I'm doing over here, Silas? What do you think I'm doing over here,
Apparently running out of ideas. Apparently that's what he's doing
No,
over here.
disc golf ideas.
I'm just saying.
What were we talking about disc golf?
All right, Stephen A. Like, jeez.
What's harder to play, in woods or open?
It's a great topic.
No,
In
it's
woods.
not.
Woods is 100% harder. It's not a good topic.
No, it's not a good topic. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Is like we gotta wait. I feel like for disc golf, we gotta wait for stuff to happen because especially when
To
I'm
make
on
stuff
tour,
happen.
I'm gonna have that insider knowledge.
Oh,
of
someone said
like,
best Christmas movie.
The Grinch, not a debate.
which one? Jim Carrey one?
Yeah,
or-
which one?
The
Is
Jim
that the
Carrey one. The
animated
Jim
or
Carrey
not?
one's the best one, the real
God,
one.
I feel like
The real
home. I
one,
feel like
okay.
Home Alone's really
I
close
was
up
about
there.
to say that.
Home
feel
Alone's
like
good,
Polar
but-
Express?
No,
No.
What?
Silas. No,
Come
that's
on.
not anyone's favorite movie.
Hey, if you like the Polar Express, just
Like
drop
if you
it
would
down
have
in
said
the chat.
if you would have said Charlie Brown, I would have said no.
You could have went
but
Elf,
I would have
Santa Claus
Elf-
1,
Elf is
up
a good
there.
one.
Santa Claus
2,
1.
above Polar Express.
Oh,
I'd go Elf,
oh.
Santa Claus, Santa Claus
You'll shoot
2,
your eye out.
I've never seen that.
Christmas Story.
You've never
White
seen You
Christmas.
shoot your eye out?
So many would go above Polar
Gosh,
Express.
Polar Express is so far down.
The
there.
the new cartoon Grinch, the original cartoon Grinch. I mean, I don't even know where
think-
Polar Express ranks.
I don't
Die
think-
Hard.
I think I don't like Polar
You just
Express.
like the Grinch too much.
I don't think I like
you
Polar
can't like
Express
the Grinch too
because
much. I literally
because
watched
of the
it before I came here.
cartoon. The cartoon animation. I don't like it.
Yeah,
The Grinch one?
it makes you feel
No,
weird.
Polar Express. I don't like it. I don't know what I'm watching. I don't know. Like it's too.
It was like they
It's
tried.
too close
They
to
tried doing
being
realistic.
real.
They tried doing realistic animation before they were good at doing
Well,
realistic
yeah.
animation.
I don't like
well,
it.
yeah, it's an old movie.
It's not that
Like,
old.
if
It's
they
not that
tried to
old.
remake that now, it would look stunning.
Yeah.
Oh, Gremlins.
Just technology.
Has anyone seen Toy Soldiers? Very underrated. No one's ever
No,
heard about it.
Never heard of
Very good movie. All right, we're bringing in next. See, this gets me hyped up because it's like I stress out over like trying to come up with topics to, because it's like, oh, what am I going to talk about tonight on debate night?
it.
It's
we
like
can talk about Christmas movies.
like this episode was fine because the Disc Golf Pro Tour posted out a lot of stuff and we got to like talk about some stuff there. But it's like, what are we going to talk about? Someone dark horse like, oh, let's talk about if Ricky's going to be signing with DD. I don't flipping care. The heck?
No, next week we'll debate Christmas movies and best Christmas desserts.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
You
What do
you
you
show up
mean?
to a Christmas party. What do you like? I have to have that there.
Have you guys ever had peppermint pie?
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. You gotta have it next week.
I just don't think there are.
Here, you know what? Show and tell. Bring in your favorite Christmas dessert next week.
Let's
I don't
go.
think there is I don't. It's Christmas cookies.
Okay, if that's yours.
That's yours.
But like you can pick out like your favorite Christmas cookie.
All
But
right, bring 'em
Okay,
in,
if that's
man.
yours.
but
bring
what
'em in. Fine,
what
bring 'em
other
in.
Christmas desserts are there?
You'll see next week.
Yeah, bring them in.
All right, I guess everyone else will see you next week. Thanks for everyone that's called in. Thanks for everyone that's listening. We appreciate you. Also, we are doing the podcast next week because it's the 20th podcast. We have to do a giveaway. You know what? It's gonna be a giveaway that's not gonna be a disc either. How about that? Boom, non-disc golf giveaway.
What is that gonna be?
Probably a frisbee.